Welcome to Spirit Adventures Guild Shadesong night here on Thursdays, where we do, well, Shadesong, because, you know, that's what we're doing right now. That's how we roll. Whatever we're doing at that time, that's what we're doing. We're not very fancy people. We just do whatever we're doing. We're super glad to have you here tonight with us as we begin part 2 of our 5-part Winter Thrice saga here. And in order to pull this off to the utmost of my abilities, I have enlisted the help of people who are not only way better than I am, but also way better looking than I am. And here they all are right now. Say hello, better looking people.
Hello, better looking people.
That's right.
Howdy.
Hello.
Dungeon Mystic Ty's like, if you're doing the better looking people, why am I not in there next time, Ty? Next time. I guarantee you, hey, super glad to have you back. We're going to jump into this very quickly, get back to where we were. I'll do a little recap in a bit. But before we do that, let's take a look at who's here tonight, who's playing, what are you doing, what's going on. Tell us a little bit about yourself, tell us a little bit about your character. And we're going to start with all the news that's fit to print in the form of all the scoos that's fit to wear a Speedo.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's plenty of that's not fit to print too that gets printed anyways.
Well, you know,
hi,
these
everybody.
things happen. Hey,
I am Scoozy, and you can find me on Twitter, but you can mostly find me hanging out, creeping, lurking in that sweet Guild Superior Adventures Guild Discord channel, where we all hang out and have a good time. Yeah, I'm playing Byron, who is a relatively gentle soul and not super bright. He's an excellent follower, and he likes to drink and smoke just like everybody who's worth their salt does in this world, apparently. And
got some nice furs.
Got some nice furs now. Looking forward to seeing what he gets up to.
Awesome. Thanks for hanging out with us, Scoos. You know we love you in all your myriad fanciful ways. Next up, the man who puts the Dave in dungeon, Dave. What's up, Dave?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for bringing me back for part 2.
Well, you know, nobody else wanted to show up.
Far. I didn't think I'd make it this far, but here I am. My name is Dave. Y'all know me. I play games, produce games, run games here on Guild Superior with my friends. And tonight I get to play with these amazing people. I'm so excited. I am playing Argos. Nope. I'm not playing Argos. There's no R in there, is there?
Agos. Yeah, no, I keep making that same mistake. I'm also Argos.
Agos. Last time I thought I was a Jotun, but I'm not. I'm a Titan. Damn it. I'm going to figure this out. By episode 3, I'll know who I'm playing. But I can channel him. He's an old codger. He's kind of grumpy. He likes kids. He's interested on going in an adventure. I don't remember what he sounds like, but we'll get there.
I'm sure you'll find him. He's so much a part of your soul. I can feel the old codger somewhere. In you. Yeah, just striving to get out. Hey, Dave, thanks for hanging out. Super appreciate you and everything you do and help out here with all the shows we're putting on. I appreciate you, man.
Thanks. I appreciate you. Oh,
yeah, I know. Look how crooked it is too.
Crooked and it's kind of shriveled, but I think it's still nice. Yeah.
You should probably see a doctor.
Probably. But I was going to say, speaking of crooked, the crookedest of them all. Beth. How you doing, Beth?
I'm good, despite being crooked. Yes.
Crooked,
very glad to be here. Yeah, I'm Beth. You can find me here a lot, quite frankly, and on the Twitters at Beth Masco. And I'm playing Hades, who is a Jotunbairn bard. She is pretty enthusiastic. She's a little bit younger, so she is a little green, and she also is kind of dogged in her pursuit of stories, knowledge, history, and the like. So we get to see all of her shenanigans. Oh, she sells a good spirit. Mm-hmm. She's not the maker, but She finds the marks. That worked. Hey.
And that's your whiskey pun for tonight.
Ayo. All right. Well, I'm done.
Awesome. Yeah, you can't top that. You might as well just turn your camera off and Yep. That's it. Thank you so much for the puns and for being here in all your crooked glory. We
thank you.
Thoroughly appreciate you also. And now the person who is the dark side of the coin to Adis's light side, Shelly. How you doing, Shelly? Nice braid. Nice braid.
Thanks. I'm getting in the spirit, yo.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys. I'm Shelly, and I am playing this super cool game with these super cool people, and I am super excited to do it. You can find me on the Twitter also at Real Flea Monkey, because apparently there was another one.
A fake flea monkey.
A flea monkey, which is what I am everywhere else, but real flea monkey on Twitter. So that being said, tonight I'm playing Gudrid, tonight and last week and the next several weeks. It's not a one-time deal unless I die. Who is, as mentioned, the other half of Adis's business. I am the maker, the distiller of fine hooch, if that's a thing. I don't know. They can go together. Yeah. And here to see what we're gonna see after we have got the troll drunk.
That's right. You got a troll drunk last time.
With all of our product.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
And Byron's product too. No, we have one left. Okay. No, we have one left. It's yeah, you'll see.
Right, the special.
You will see.
The special blend. Thank you so much, Shelly, for being here along with your braid. There you go. Super nice. I'm looking forward to seeing beards braided next time, as you need to pick up a little bit, guys, because, you know, being shown up here. Thank you all for coming out, seeing us tonight. I got a couple more shout outs to do. I myself am the Bleakseason. I'm at the Bleakseason on Twitter. You can also check out the Shadesong Journal on bleakseason.com. I run games, play games, hang out here with these wonderful people because, well, you know, it's always good to hang out with people who can, you know, carry you on their coattails. I would like to give a shout out to my producer, Andy, behind the scenes. Making things happen, moving things, pressing plays, things of that nature. We appreciate Andy. Thank you very much, Andy. Speaking of music, the Tabletop Audio Patreon, fantastic music for all your music needs. We love them dearly. Use their stuff. Absolutely fantastic little songs. You're hearing them right now, or you will in a few moments. What else? Shout out to the Guild Superior, all the people in the Guild, the other producers, Miko and Ashley, as well as everybody who plays with us, hangs out with us, posts memes in the Discord. We love and appreciate each and every one of you. We are here because of you. Please, if you feel like joining in, join our Discord, drop by, say hi, maybe get into some games, into some shenanigans with us. I would also like to say our logo has been designed by Mr. Creep, who doesn't quite have socials yet, but as soon as we get them, we will update them. And finally, the game uses the Dragonbane system published by Free League Publishing that we love quite dearly here. It is a beta PDF that came with a Kickstarter for early pledges on a Kickstarter. So the rules may change as we go along. Some of the rules may not work very well. You know, it's kind of it's not. I don't want to call it a playtest in any way, shape, or form. But you know, we're trying a system. It's not the one that's going to be coming out. It's not the finalized one that's going to be coming out in a few months. But it's doing pretty good right now. You can influence the game if you want by pledging some bits to the guild here. When you do, the players receive advantages on rolls and any and all money that we do manage to get in through these bits, these donation subscriptions, all go back into trying to make better shows, paying for arts, for artists, paying for Patreons, going back into the community in the form of supporting other channels and some of our friends. So, you know, we're not flying to Reno with this money. We're putting it right back where her mouth is, and yeah, I guess that's about it. So, quick recap then. Last week, the lot of you were in the village in Kettleheim, in Frostheim, and a strange figure, a warrior all dressed in green, appeared in the middle of the village, and as he did, all the snow and the ice in the village sort of started being replaced by green grass and flowers and whatnot that was growing, and this knight, or a green warrior rather, advised your Jarl Calder that the Vasir had decided that because the world that you are in is so plague-ridden and has become a threat to the other worlds that are attached to Yggdrasil, that you were being ordered to sever this world from Yggdrasil. So the Jotun had to grab axes and saws and all that good stuff and get to work cutting off all the roots of Yggdrasil in this world to separate it from the tree so that it wouldn't infect other worlds. Feeling that there was perhaps some shenaniganry afoot in this particular message sent supposedly from the Vasir by this green warrior, Calder, the Jarl, decided to send some friends of his to seek out some counsel from the Norns who inhabit Yggdrasil, actually, and to figure out exactly sort of what's going on and what's happening, because the green warrior supposedly has been dead for quite some time. The rest of you, you all traveled through the forest for a while, getting drunk every time you could, and along the way met a troll called Mr. Touchrick, who wanted to charge you a toll to pass the bridge. You managed to get him drunk enough that he fell on his ass, and you were able to carry on merrily after robbing him of all his stuff. So, are you heroes? I don't know. I guess time will tell. But, you're out there getting trolls drunk and taking their stuffs. These things happen. Any questions before beginning? Good to go? Happening?
Yeah.
All right. You are traveling then north, and as you cross the bridge in the Fomorian bog where you left the troll passed out drunk, you now leave winter behind and enter this sort of very kind of magical forest. And as you traverse it and approach the tree, you eventually come within sight of Yggdrasil. Rising far above you, the crown and most of the top branches lost in the celestial vault overhead, stands mighty Yggdrasil, the world tree, a veritable giant holding up the world on unbowed branches. The tree is in bloom, as always, the leaves flickering a myriad of colors, resplendent in their massive glory. They rustle in cosmic winds, whispering the names of all who have been, are, and will be. Somewhere along the trunk, you imagine you can hear the squirrel Ratatosk running messages between the various worlds, cradled in the tree's branches and roots. Along this tree exist several worlds, filled with creatures ancient and new, imaginable and unimaginable, good and evil, kind and cruel. It is the center of the void and the light, a force so ancient as to be nearly unthinkable, yet as real and as alive as you are. And as you approach it, you find a little path that winds in between the massive roots. And as you're seeing these roots, you're contemplating the task that cutting it down would be like. It would take every Jotun and every Titan in Kettleheim working tremendously hard to get this done. It's a massive undertaking that kind of boggles the mind a little bit. But as you approach, you see a little path that winds in through the roots, and as you follow it, you eventually approach what looks to be a kind of entrance that leads into the tree itself, but underneath it, and you can hear water playing as if there's like some sort of brook or river, perhaps, that is running down beneath the tree. And as you approach the tree itself now, this entrance, you find yourself at a place that you know to be called Votan's Throne, where the Norns live. The three Norns who can see what has been, what is, and what will be. It is said that whenever a new being is born into this world, the Norns get together and look at the thread of this being's life and decide exactly where it will be cut, so that the fate of every man, woman, child, Jotun, elf, dwarf, titan, human, whatever in this world is already decided at birth, and that destiny is everything and cannot be changed. And as you enter Wotan's Throne, you find the mighty River Erd, which comes in from the underground and drives through this area, and you know that this is the water that keeps the tree alive. If ever something were to happen, that this water would be cut off, the tree would wither and rot and die in almost no time at all. So this is the river of life that feeds the mighty Yggdrasil, keeping it alive, keeping all the worlds attached to it and all the people in those worlds alive and happy. And as you enter a world that is filled with fauna and flora, the likes of which you've never seen anywhere else before, you are greeted first, coming from far in the back, the sound of hammering as someone is at a blacksmith's station hammering metal, which is a little incongruous and a little kind of strange, but you know, who knows what the Norns like to get up to when no one's watching. And as you arrive, and I want you to take this map as a representation of what's going on. The tree is obviously much bigger than this, but you know, the needs of the window frame, etc., demanded this. So take it more as a suggestion or a sort of an image of sort of what you're entering. As you approach on the right, you see a couple of nice little huts, one of which is completely overgrown with grass, the other one which is mostly still built out of slate and dirt. And beyond the river that you can see beyond Erd, which is crawling there through the middle of the place, you see a giant skeleton that is lying at rest out here in the middle of the water. It is a creature that is roughly the size of a Jotun. Its bones fairly well preserved, as it seems to be lying in a peaceful rest in the middle of the place. Over here, you hear the sound of blacksmithing, as I was mentioning earlier. And up here, you see Votan's Throne, the chair that must remain at all times empty and ready to receive Votan should Votan ever decide to visit this particular world. And the menhirs that are stacked around it are covered in ancient runes, and you can see the magical energy that sort of emanates from them and sort of circulates in the area. And you can feel the power that emanates from that throne, that wooden throne that is there, carved out of a single piece of wood. What do you do as you approach this? And you can see a little bit further off in front of the houses a couple of people moving. What would you like to do?
How close is the skeleton? Is it? Can we walk right up to it?
Yeah, you could walk over to it. It would, again, sort of imagining that this is a representation of the place. It would probably take you like, a couple of minutes to wind your way up there. But you could certainly get that done without much of a problem.
What are these people? Like, are we expecting?
You expect the three Norns to be here, yes.
Okay, and so these people, do we have any idea? We don't know these people, do they look like the three Norns? Byron's like, this is...
Well, let us meet them, shall we?
Yes, let's meet them indeed.
The first one you encounter is Verthandi. Verthendi, you know, is the one who sees all that is. Currently, Verthendi appears to be very confused. They're running around. They have a bunch of sheets of paper. There's a table there that's covered with books, crystals, lamps, crystal balls, runes, all sorts of things. And Verthendi is moving from one to the other. Seems very perplexed as he's looking at pieces of paper and turning them around, and he seems very confused, very unsure what's going on.
Flip that 190 degrees. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That really helps. That really. Oh, thank you. So. That's not the paper I need, though. Where is that? And he continues.
I thought they'd be better organized, to be quite honest.
A little bit further beyond Verthendi, you see one who is much shorter and is tending a little garden right now. And you know this to be Urder, the one who sees all that has come before. And Urder seems very busy right now, tending to her garden. She's got a beautiful garden. Her house is the one that is covered in green grass. You see butterflies. There's just this sense of peace and contentment there. There's like little, what do you freaking call them? Things, honeys, bees make honeys in them.
Homes.
Honeycombs?
Hives. Yeah.
Hives.
It's got a couple of hives with some peaceful little bees making some nice little honey. There's the little garden, little flowers growing. Everything seems very quaint and very comfortable and very peaceful as there is working diligently at these things. And beyond, over where the forge is, you see Skuld. And Skuld is the one who sees what is to come, and Skuld appears to be right now very busy making a lot of weapons. There are a couple of racks of swords and spears and shields and axes already made. There's a bunch of ore on the side. There's stacks of wood for the big fire that Skuld has going on, and Skuld's just hammering and hammering and hammering and just making all these weapons. And so you, Agos, have approached Verthendi, who, after thanking you and realizing he had the wrong paper, has started rummaging through their things again and seems to still be lost. You are muted, my friend.
You appear to be quite busy.
I'm just trying to make sense of everything. It's just very confusing right now. I don't know where anything is. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. I'm trying to just get a handle on things, and it seems like, and then this gust of wind comes and just blasts all the papers all over the place.
I'm going to use my magical tricks to kind of help pick up some of the papers and float them back.
Thank you, young one. You're very kind. You're very kind.
You are too kind. My name is Agos, and these are my friends. And well, we're sorry to bother you at such a busy moment, but
Yes, you were sent here by Calder, right? That's right.
Yes, of course. We should.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You were saying.
We came here to speak with you. The Jarl sent us, of course, and as you said, do you know why we're here?
I do.
Oh,
I think I do. It's over here somewhere, and starts rummaging, and he pulls out a scroll. No, not this one. And then, right here. It says right here. Arriving at, and as he, begins, look at this. Above you, most of the top branch lost in the celestial vault overhead stands mighty Yggdrasil, the world tree, a veritable giant holding up the world on body. Yes, that's it. That's right. That's what you're doing here, right?
Indeed, we have been sent here to seek counsel with the three Norns, assuming that you're one of them. And
I am.
Perfect. Well, we're in the right place.
Would you like a seat? Let me just. And he makes a big messy pile out of everything and kind of just grabs everything. Come on, grab a seat at the table. I'll be right back. Gudrid, Byron, Ladies, please, you can join your friend here, and
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
I know they know everything, but I'm taken aback a bit by them
Feels-
knowing everything.
It feels a little special.
But they also seem so, like, mortal, human-ish.
Normie? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And messy. What was that all about?
Disorganized, yes.
They
I mean,
do they know we're talking about them in these
of
kinds
course
of
they
ways?
do.
Well, maybe I'm gonna stop in that. Uh-oh.
Just don't say anything that they could hold against you.
I don't know. I mean this work. I feel like I'm at sort of a like if they know everything that I'm about to say, then why should I even bother to say it?
But if you don't say it, then it won't have been
But
said.
then it
and
never
then
have.
Oh no.
This is getting weird.
Well, it's not that weird. Gudrun, just act normal as best you can.
Gudrun will crack a bunch of bones and do all the back stuff and the arm stuff and sit down.
Surely, Gudrid, you've seen worse. You've seen weirder things before. She approaches carrying a big jar of what appears to be perhaps some lemonade or something. Would you like some refreshments? Please have a seat. And she's whistling, and
Of course.
she pulls out a bunch of little wooden goblets from her apron, and she spreads them around. She's like, made this myself this morning. Pours it around. Has Verthendi greeted you yet?
Indeed.
Something
yes.
like that.
More or less.
Perfect. Here he comes, and Verthendi comes back, and he's got all the papers again. They're all in his arms, and he comes back. He's like, "Oh yeah, I was going to put these away," and he turns around and he goes back in the house with the papers. Poor Verthendi, he's so confused these days. He doesn't know what's ahead and what's a tail anymore. How's the lemonade? I put a little bit of my fresh honey in it. I hope it's not too sweet.
It is very tasty.
I thought you would appreciate that. How can we help you?
That's a great question.
I know why you were coming here, but how can I help you
Sure.
now?
I mean, if you know why we're here, right? And wouldn't you just know what to help us with?
Would
This
you
is
like
all
me to
very
live your
interesting.
Would you like me to live your life for you also?
No.
Wouldn't you want the experience of living your life yourself? And that's the whole point. I mean, I may know exactly where your thread is heading and where it's going to stop, but it is your thread. It is not mine.
Well, I have a question then along those lines.
Yes, sir, young one.
Oh, thank you. These threads you speak of, is there ever a time when someone deviates from the thread, perhaps, and goes in a direction that you and the other Norns did not quite expect? Has that ever happened?
No.
Could it happen?
Never.
The current prevailing theory is that if it were to happen, it would branch off somewhere else, and there would be another set of Norns there that would have anticipated that, and that thread would be going where it's supposed to be, and here it continues to go where it's supposed to be. It's very I try not to dwell on it too much personally. It makes my head hurt a little bit when I try to think about it too much. I just I just accept it, and so should you. Isn't it more comforting to know that things are set and that, well, you can't mess up, really?
I guess.
Byron's gonna spill his goblet of lemonade on the table.
Oh, would you like some more, young man? Or young Titan? And she'll pull out a little rag and she'll wipe out the mess you made and she'll pour you some more. Every time
He's
he comes
just
back.
wide-eyed watching this, like just in his mind, like this was meant to be. This was supposed to happen. The lemonade was supposed to spill.
Verthanti comes back. He's like, yes, it's. I find it helps alleviate fear, because when you know that whatever's going to happen is going to happen regardless of what you do, why would you stay at home in bed? You might as well go out and enjoy the day. Staying home in bed is not going to save you. If you're meant to be eaten by a leopard will just find his way inside your home and eat you. Well, that's taken it literally. Well, he's taken it a little bit literally. We know what day you're going to die. How you die is a different story, but you can't escape it. If you decide to stay at home rather than go in battle, for example, perhaps something will fall on your head and cave in your skull, and thus ending you. Whereas if you go fight, perhaps you will die with someone's sword in your gut. But one thing is for sure, when your thread ends, so does your story, and it gets woven into the tapestry and becomes part of the past. And then there are new threads that are created every day and that go on, and in this way we weave the entirety of life. We do it right there, and she points over here, and you can see there's like, a spindle and a wheel and a land. We do it right there.
You must be bombarded with people asking you to tell them of their time and day of death, so they can prepare themselves, prepare their families, their estates, their arrangements.
It happens.
Freely give this information?
No, absolutely not.
And who would want it? I wouldn't want it. Would you want it, Agos?
Well,
would you want it?
See why someone might to prepare themselves and their loved ones for their death.
But if you were to do that, you would not be living in the moment. You would be living in the future. You are not meant to live in the past, nor are you meant to live in the future. You're meant to live in the present. Verthandi here is the one you are meant to listen to. He's a little confused and lost right now because things are a little bit strange, and he doesn't know exactly where things are going. But you want to be living in his realm, not in mine, and not in School's realm, because there is no point to that.
Well, I could certainly never live in your realm because I can barely remember what I did yesterday.
See, that is a trick that I use to allow you to move forward better, because sometimes we can be anchored by things that have happened before that hold us back. And so a long time ago, I created this thing. I call it the fog of memory, and it helps you forget the things that are perhaps less pleasant and that can hold you back and allow you to move forward. No need to thank me. It's part of the job description.
You said that things are a little strange right now?
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you say?
Well, I mean, that is why we're here. I just didn't know if they're strange for you also. Although...
Well, they're strange all over.
Yeah.
Is that why Verthandi is in such a state?
Unfortunately, yes. When things are sort of in flux and not too clear, Verthandi gets into a little bit of a fright. And as you look right now, Verthandi is sort of looking through his pockets. I knew I put it in here somewhere. I can't. It should be. And he's looking. Then he's walking around and he's looking on the bench and he's. And I lost it again.
I mean,
what did you lose?
My thought.
All of
Where did
it?
Go. A good portion of it. I was going to say that this is a wonderful moment having you here. It's been a while since we've had anyone come up here and just speak with us. It's very, I'm forgetting to do my Verthandi voice. It's very nice to have you here, partaking of this lemonade. In fact, I think I'm going to have some lemonade myself. I could enjoy some right now. And he comes over and he pours himself some lemonade.
Is there any way that we can help you? You seem very frazzled.
No, I'll figure it out.
Okay.
I'll figure it out. There's always so much going on. There's always so much. The thing is that it's very difficult sometimes for me to know where Urder's things end and where Skull's things begin, and because I'm kind of sandwiched between the two, it kind of sometimes like they kind of blend into each other a little bit. So it's very difficult for me sometimes to know where the parameters, the barriers,
yes, where you fit into the threesome, so to speak.
That's right.
Yes.
Very well put, young man. But, of course, this doesn't mean that we can't help you. What would you like us to do for you?
Well, I suppose we'd like to know more about the creature that visited us or visited the town.
Yes.
The Green Warrior.
The Green
Yeah.
Warrior. Oh, he was a grand warrior who served the Vasir for a very long time. There's you should know this story. 80s about the Green Warrior. Don't you know the story?
Well, I mean, I know of it. I know that. Well, I know that there were deals made, and but I thought with the deals made that the tree was supposed to be protected for all time, and now we're being told to cut it down.
Well, no, you're not being told to cut the tree down. You're being told, you were told, in fact, to sever this world from the tree. The tree will continue to grow, and all the other worlds on it will continue to grow. You've just been asked to close this particular door.
What would that do? I mean,
I don't know. We'd have to ask Scold.
Would you still be here if we did that?
Well, we're everywhere. Wherever the tree is, there we are.
You would abandon this world then, and all the threads in it.
That are here, well, some I assume would move on to other worlds. I would assume that yours would return to Jotunheim, or some of them, at least. As far as the people that live beyond the mountains, the mortals, eventually they would die off.
And there would be no more.
That is their lot in life. No, there would be more mortals. There are plenty of other worlds. This is just one of them. Imagine you've been into your Jarl's house. I imagine the Jarl's house is one of the bigger houses that you've seen, right? In the Jarl's longhouse, there are several rooms. There is the main room with the fire pit and the long tables where people congregate to eat and celebrate and spend time with each other. And then there is the Jarl's room. And if the Jarl has children, then perhaps they have rooms of their own also. And then there is a place for the kitchen. And then there is a place for the stock, and so on and so forth. All that you'd be doing is closing and locking off one of these rooms. The other rooms would still be there and would still be filled with people.
So we would no longer be able to access you in this place.
Oh, well, you would
but
find
you would
us
still
wherever.
be here.
Well, if you want to get really specific about it, you are no longer in Kettleheim. You are currently in Yggdrasil. If you were to step outside, you would be in Kettleheim, and if you were to cross the mountain range, you would be in, what's the world out here, Verthandi? He rummages, pulls out a piece of paper from one of his pockets. No, this one's called Eld. You would be in Eld. But you currently you are no longer in Kettleheim. You are in Yggdrasil. You saw the big tree on your way in, and you entered that tree.
Yes. It doesn't feel different.
No. Sometimes different is just a state of mind.
Does time pass here the same way as it does outside? I mean,
What is time? How do you measure time?
oh, geez.
In the years, you grow older. People that you know pass, others are born, and is that what you mean? Or do you mean the cycle of the sun moving around the planet and the moon following it and so on and so forth?
Sort of the latter, I guess. It really doesn't matter. Wow, this is a lot for a single brain to.
Especially one as addled by alcohol as yours. I understand, not a problem.
Well, I didn't even.
She doesn't have a problem.
Well, that's a bit harsh.
I just sell the product.
I don't like the tone you're taking with my friend.
I was jesting. I am, of course, aware fully of how much and how little each of you imbibes. Or have imbibed, I should say.
Gudrid sits back down again.
Do we just
Relaxes
smell like
again.
alcohol? Just
Yeah.
We
smell
should
like
perhaps speak to
alcohol
Skuld.
control.
Skuld is better suited than Verthandi and I at ascertaining what is to come. Perhaps you would like to speak with...
Yes, that
Please.
amenable.
Well, come along. Are you coming, Verthanti? Yes, I'm there. And so the lot of you will head towards the middle of the place, and as you cross onto the little island here, you will walk on by that giant skeleton that's lying there in the flowers. As you cross, Verthanti will stop and sort of stare at it and go, "This is the source of all our problems right here."
Who is it?
Tell.
The skeleton? She's indicating at the skeleton.
Yes.
Who is that?
See, a lot of the problems, a lot of my confusion right now began with this one. About, when was it, Erder? About 10 years ago by their reckoning. About 10 years ago, someone from the other side of the mountain brought him here. His name was First Fallen. He was, by all accounts, or so Erder tells us, the first living being to die on this world. Unfortunately, it was one of those rare instances where it wasn't supposed to happen. And so First Fallen found himself lost somewhere he shouldn't be. And, well, through the tribulations of time, someone managed to make things right, and they brought us his skeleton to lay him to rest here about 10 years ago, and we did this. And, well, I hope that he has found a better life for himself in the afterlife now, but things really started going a little wonky around that time. I'm not saying it's his fault, but it was around then that things started getting a little strange here, that Skuld started making weapons, and that I started being a little confused about what was going on. The only one, of course, who had peace was Erler, who lived blissfully in the past.
How was the First Fallen killed?
Well, by death.
Is that significant or special in this case?
No,
This isn't everything.
it's just that as a Jotun, he was not meant to die. He had unfortunately found his way into the realm of the mortals, and this left him at risk. And unfortunately, the first thing he encountered outside was death, and so there you have it.
That's terrible luck. Really?
That is very rotten luck.
About as shite as it gets.
Pretty much, but things appear to have worked out for him, but it's unbalanced things a little bit. In any case, here's Skuld. Skuld, we have some people here who have some questions. I don't have time. I'm busy, can't you see? And Skuld is hammering away at... Well, I think that's what they want to talk to you about. They sort of want to know why you're so busy. It's a little upsetting to us to see you sitting there making all these weapons, so perhaps you could give our friends here a little bit of your wisdom. All right, but if we're not ready when it comes, it'll be your fault. Skuld puts away, takes the sword that they're working on and dips it in the river and this'll do, and puts it away and grabs a rag and... Right. What'll it be?
Hello.
Hey there, young man. It's been a while since we've seen you. You probably don't remember, but it's okay.
Well, I assume it was when I was born long ago.
Well, I've seen you a few times since then, but yeah, and we'll see you a few times more.
I think that's good.
I don't know.
That seems weird to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's good weird or bad weird.
We'll
But it's
definitely see
weird.
you a few times more than some of these other clowns.
I haven't made any jokes yet.
Skuld? What are you doing? I'm just playing with you.
Are you, Skuld, with all due respect, you seem very preoccupied with weaponry and armaments. Are you expecting some sort of a battle?
Well, yes, of course. The darkness is coming.
Yes. Like, imminently?
Sooner rather than later. Haven't you seen the signs?
Well,
The winter thrice that will precede the time of the axe and shield, where brother will fight brother, and father will fight son, and mother will fight daughter. The gods will die, and there will be eternal darkness after Fenrir eats the sun and moon.
it has been a ridiculously long winter.
Aye, and it's far from over. There
Not
will
my
be at least
favorite
2 other
story.
seasons of it. And then the fire and the blood will begin. This is where we're at. I've seen it. It's coming.
Who are these weapons for?
And he would need them. There will be a massive battle. All the gods and all the mortals and all the Jotuns and all the Titans and all the Jotun barons and everything else that walks or crawls on this earth. We will fight Lok's children, and we will lose.
You will lose. What will
We
you
all
lose?
will. All of us.
Well, we've all heard the stories, but that seems to be long into the future from our perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Could this have anything to do with some of the recent, the recent visitation that we had with this green warrior?
He looks at the other 2. What is this about then? Oh, that's right. You wouldn't know. A few days ago, by their reckoning, the Green Warrior returned to, what was it, tell you to, and Berthendi said, to sever Yggdrasil from this world. Well then, I guess that's what you have to do. They seem to think that perhaps, says Erder, there's something not quite right with this request. What exactly was your complaint?
I mean,
We're
it
just trying to verify, first of all.
Berthendi said,
seems
isn't
so
the Green
strange.
Warrior dead?
Yes.
That's
Yes,
what's
he
strange
died.
about it.
He died a long time ago. Why would he have returned? I don't know. Stranger decisions are made every day.
He couldn't have returned just to give us that message. That would.
Well, now that you mention, I wasn't aware of anyone being released. Neither was I. I never know anything.
Released from where exactly?
From Valhalla.
Released? Like he escaped?
I don't know. If he's here and he was there, something must have happened.
Didn't you weave his thread? This warrior.
I did, and I was pretty sure. And she puts her hands in her pocket, and she pulls out this bunch of threads, and she goes through them, and a bunch of them kind of fly off. And yeah, here it is. And she pulls one that's kind of greenish. Like, here it is. Ended long while ago. You can see by where it's cut. See very cleanly. I do believe his head was severed from his body.
Well, he had a head.
Well, then, that answers your question.
So was
Does
it
it?
a spirit, a ghost?
Did he look tangible? What was the?
I mean, yeah, he looked like he was
Except
there.
for he like sank into the ground afterwards.
I mean, do you have another thread in your pocket? How does this work?
You have
I
any other
have many
green
threads in my
threads?
pockets, and
Gosh,
How
He
many
affected
green
the ground.
threads?
Didn't we see the ground melt?
it's still
He was
still
there.
severing. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I guess we could read the bones.
that might be good.
Didn't your Jarl call upon your Vordruna to read the bones?
Yes.
And what did they say?
They told us to seek you out.
Why didn't you lead with that information?
Oh, well, the bones told us to visit with you.
Oh, well then. Very well. Come along then. Do you have the bones for Tendi? No, I'm not the one who had them last. Skull says I have them. All right, let's make our way up there. And so you make your way up towards the throne, the wooden throne that's there, Votan's throne. As you approach it, you feel the energy that's just emanating from it, this ancient power that's just sort of washing over you and is like kind of mocking you in some ways. Like you feel like there's something there that's kind of having a good laugh at your expense.
I'll look over at Gudrid. This is very surreal, don't you think? I mean, they seem to know everything and yet also nothing. I don't... It's just weird.
Couldn't agree more. I do often keep scratching myself to make sure I'm not, affected by anything. This doesn't seem real to me.
And as you say that, this giant turtle just slowly kind of passes in front of you.
I don't know what I thought it was going to be like here, but not this.
I mean, we walked in here with a few very large questions, and now I have just infinitely more.
That's normal.
How do you calm that down? My mind is going all over the place, and we have a task, and there's just a lot here.
One way to calm it down.
You have
it in my backpack.
Now's not time to drink. You have to just let go. Just let go and live in the moment. Don't worry about the questions. Don't worry about the answers. The answers are going to come. They're already set in stone. They're going to come when they have to come.
Kids these days, they need answers immediately. It's this strange phenomenon.
It's incredible. I mean, look at this. Have you ever seen anything like this before? And yet you're sitting there wondering, why does the past meet the future? Who knows this? There's this. Well, why don't you enjoy this while you can? Because you may not get to again.
Well said.
Well, we were sent on a very important, seemingly very urgent, life-altering...
We'll take care of it. We'll roll the bones. We'll sort it out. Don't you worry. You're pretty little head about it. Just enjoy the moment.
Okay, I'm gonna drink more lemonade.
And she points at Byron. Look at this man's face. Not a single thought in that head. Just living in the moment.
I wish.
The world needs people like you too. 80s. Absolutely. If everybody thought like I did, we wouldn't get anywhere.
Well, I mean, we need all kinds, but I don't know. It just feels like a bit much, but we'll get there, I guess, right? I mean, okay.
Just imagine they know the answers to everything. I
don't believe them. We have this green warrior come out of the ground in our village and make things happy, and everybody gets excited, and the only thing he says is to cut this world off from the world tree. That's a big ask. That's a big fucking ask. Like, cut the tree from the world.
But in the grand scheme of things, you're just cutting off one branch.
Right, but that's your grand scheme of things. It is the branch on which we drink.
But you are lucky. You will get to go live on another branch. You are part of this whole cosmic cycle. It's the mortals.
So you believe the Green Warrior? You've seen what he's asked us to do and how it turns out?
No, I don't know that I believe him. Verthandi, I don't know what to make of it. I keep looking for I had a piece of paper with it, and he's looking through his things, and if Verthandi doesn't know, it's difficult for the rest of us to know.
Well, then what are we here for to get from you? What can you tell us about this, then, if you don't know?
Well, let's find out. And as he says that, Skull takes a bunch of bones from his pocket and he rolls them on the ground. And as they roll, you feel in the moment as you watch these bones tumble, you feel futures, pasts, presents, planets, universes, the cosmos just slamming into each other and bouncing off each other and sort of going everywhere. And you feel like this tremendous sense of universal just power and this questioning and all these things. Like the entire world has been shaken and sort of rolled off the same way he rolled off these bones as they clink against each other and hit the grass and kind of bounce and roll over and sort of lay out in this seemingly haphazard pattern. And the three of them sort of gather around and start looking. Yes, very, very interesting. Yes, so I don't like that one, but it's all right. We don't need to talk about it. Is that one cocked? Yeah. All right, just push it over a little bit. Okay, that's great. All right, that's fine.
Just push it over.
Push it over?
Sometimes you just gotta help. Things happen. Right.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think.
Do they?
Well, we do. Yes, we do. Don't worry. They think we know what we're doing. I'll keep at it a little longer. Give them another 30 seconds of this. I like that one. Yeah. Is that a new one? Yeah, I just made it yesterday. Oh, it's fantastic.
We did
I like
hear
the
you say
rune
that.
work. I'm sorry, you heard nothing. I like the rune work on that. Yeah, it's very nice.
But
Do you think we should cut the grass? Do you think it's getting a little long? Well,
hold on. Do you remember why you rolled the bones?
yes, you want to know what you need to do next.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what. One thing is absolutely perfectly clear. We have no clue what you must do next.
Well, then it's settled.
Byron gets up and walks away for a little bit.
But whatever it is, it starts with you dying.
What?
All of us?
Yes.
He comes back.
So we can get to that if you want. If you're in a hurry, we can get to that. Or if you want to perhaps have a little bit more lemonade before you go.
When you
Well-
say get to that, do you mean like murdering us here? What does get to that mean?
Oh, no, we're not going to murder you. Come on.
Well, and I guess that's the question. So you can see that our threads are short. They're ending.
Oh, no, your threats continue for a little while yet. Well, some of them, Your threats continue for a little while yet,
Okay.
but
so,
not here. They continue somewhere else.
like
So we have to leave here. That's the next step, is to leave.
Yes.
And then die.
No, you die so that you can leave. Well, you don't
Oh,
die,
God.
but you need to go to Valhalla. But we can
What?
arrange that. We can arrange that. Fairly painless.
Hold.
This is a
Before we go
wonderful
anywhere.
opportunity.
It is. And
Why
you
don't
should
you
see it
send
for
us-
what it is. You have a wonderful attitude towards life, young man.
I'm here for this.
oh, I'm down for the ride. It's taken a little while to roll around in my noggin.
Unfortunately, we can't see the answer, but the answer is in Valhalla. And so if you go there, you should be able to find the answer.
Okay.
Can I bring one of those nice hammers with me?
Absolutely. Which one would you like? You're giving away my hammers now? You got like 7 of them.
I think
Yeah, but-
that you should pick one.
I need this one for the swords. Maybe this. I need that one for the Uru metal. You can have this one. And he hands you this tiny little. You can have this one, but be very careful. Be very careful. Don't. Careful, I said. Power contained in this thing is beyond anything you can understand. So hold it very Here, let me put it here. He comes over and he kind of puts it in your lapel a little bit, and he's like, there you go. Just be careful with it.
What is he supposed to do with that?
I don't know. We'll find out.
80s has now sat on the ground, laid back, and is just looking up at the majesty of this and just trying to let the gears turn a bit.
Byron's gonna lay down with his head like this with you.
Yeah.
Just very careful of this new pin. What the fuck?
I don't know.
Well,
Seeing
while
that
they
this
get there,
looks-
I'll go get some more lemonade while they gather their thoughts, and Earlier goes off to get some more lemonade.
Gudrun will lay down in the sideways,
Yeah.
So we've got a 3 now. And I
Agos,
motion
come
that-
on.
Agos, yeah.
Yeah,
We'll-
we're all
we'll help you
looking
get
up at
back up.
Agos.
We need to talk about this.
Skuld, I have a question for you. Have you seen? Do we return from Valhalla, or is it obscured?
I'd rather not answer,
Fair.
for
Huh.
fear that it may affect your decision making.
Do we get a new thread when we come back?
No. The thread will be waiting for you.
That's a
Percenti
good
leans
sign.
over to Skull and goes, "Is that what's called sleeping on the job? Is that what they're doing?" I think that's what they're doing.
So okay, I guess if you can't see what happens to us when we go to Valhalla, is that true of
That
anybody
domain is
that goes
not
there?
ours. That domain
Okay.
is not ours. It exists beyond the past, the present, and the future. It is obscured by mists. From our view, it
Okay.
is the purview of other, more ancient forces than time.
So have others gone that you couldn't see for a while?
Oh, all the time.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Have
Interesting.
they returned?
Oh, in some cases, yes,
Possibly this green man.
possibly. When you arrive, you should try to find Votan's Hall, and if you get to speak to Votan himself, you might be able to get some answers.
We'll get to speak to Votan himself?
Well, you'll have to talk to someone, and you might as well go to the headman.
Who?
His wife, Frigg, perhaps also could answer for you.
Can we just walk up? Do we need to? Is there a password? Is there?
I've never been dead. I could not tell you what it's like there.
So if we die to go there, like that's technically
No, you're going to take a boat.
well, yeah,
Oh,
but
hey, I'm gonna quote you. You should lead with that next time.
Yeah, I guess perhaps that would have been a bit less dramatic.
So we're not dying. We're
Well, you leave your
taking a
lives
trip.
behind, but yes.
wouldn't mind.
Earlier
getting my
returns
life
with
behind for a bit.
With the lemonade and pours you each glass. I brought fresh cups.
Thank you. I'll
That was a
Sit down.
concern.
I didn't know which cup belonged to which, and I didn't want to make it uncomfortable for anyone. So
do you have a Sharpie? I can write my name on this one so you don't waste any more.
Write it on
I
the
do, and he
bottom
pulls
so
out
you
a
don't
sharp
smear it
little
off
knife.
with your hand.
Yeah. Okay. So we get on a boat
that's right.
and we leave our lives behind and
Mhm.
we okay.
And there
Unless
is
you
no
don't want to.
guarantee.
Unless you
No.
don't want to.
I do want to actually quite a lot. I feel like this is information that people would normally get over a great span of time, and we've sort of just, distilled it all into this very short interaction.
Well, the stream of life is a very rapid one.
Sure. Okay.
Are you ready then?
Oh, can we have a minute?
Oh, absolutely. And they stand there kind of staring at you.
A private one.
Oh,
I don't think anything is private with these.
Yeah, when I was
Well,
like,
Well, it makes me feel better.
It would feel, yeah.
well, absolutely, very well. Well, when you're ready, just meet us down by the river right there. We'll be waiting for you.
Okay, we'll meet you by the river to leave our lives
Behind
behind.
and go on a boat.
Lead with that next time. I understand. Yes.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well,
This is not what I thought we were going to be told. In the most remote thought, I had was not this.
no, not at all. I mean,
So
I'm very interested. This is, I mean, you want to talk about the opportunity of a lifetime.
this does seem perfect for you.
Yeah. Wow.
I like this journey for you.
For me?
Yeah, for you. But it seems like this is something that you are excited about.
I mean, I am. The excitement only sort of covers up the crippling anxiety, but yes. I mean, I'm not usually at a loss for words, and this is, yeah, this is a lot.
Well, if you think about it, this is destined to be, as they said. And, well, we're supposed to go on this grand adventure, and who knows what we'll find along the way. It could be glorious and wonderful and fun. They did let it slip that our threads will still be here when we return. So I'm feeling pretty optimistic about things.
I would like to know how long we'll be gone. Because I don't want to leave. I don't know. Everything just. I thought I knew what happened when the sun rose and when it set beyond the mountains. And now, even that is just. Not really. I don't know what to make of it. So if we were to come back to the world as it is, that would be great, because then we can still have a part in it. But I don't know what will happen to the world when we are gone, when we go on this.
I mean, and how long they have our threads, but can they tell how long we'll be gone? I don't know.
Will they tell us? Like, they don't have their
That's
shit
true.
together.
You know, I think that no matter what we choose, well, we've already chosen, I guess. But we did sort of, sign on for whatever this whole experience turns out to be. And this is just a wild left turn, I suppose. Maybe our lives will still be here when we get back. Maybe 1,000,000 years will have passed.
What?
I guess I think I'm finally settling into the notion that it doesn't matter. We should just probably keep on keeping on,
Exactly.
Yeah.
About that green man, Adis, how do you remember how long? I mean, because you know this stuff. How long had he been since he'd been dead?
I
Was it that
definitely
he showed up? It was hundreds of years, right?
I know exactly the number of years. Gee, how many years has it been?
Several years. Several hundreds of years.
Okay.
Several hundred.
Yeah.
Between several and several hundred.
That's right.
Yeah.
We could be gone a very long time.
I mean, what even is time?
A question I ask myself all the time, says Scold, who's standing behind you.
Oh,
Sorry,
it was not a private conversation after all.
it was, but the future has a way of creeping up on you.
Oh,
Oh.
man.
Yeah, walked
Man,
into that one.
Oh.
That was good.
Did
Are
you?
you- are you
knew
done
that
now?
that joke
I have
would
like-
land.
I have like 1,000,000 weapons to make.
could you make me a bigger hammer?
You already have a bigger hammer. Look on your
Oh
back,
my
son. You're not very
God.
sharp, are you? All right. Look, I mean,
We're going.
all right.
I mean,
then
it's
what,
happening.
Why are you
we've got-
talking about it?
Well, you only just told us
You-
that this is
it-
what we have to do. This is a big step for us.
It's
Is this-
huge. It's fucking huge. We have our lives behind.
Some of us are quite young still. And I kind of look over at Agos just a little bit and realize what I said. Sheepishly. We have things to discuss, but
You're very young, sir. Don't worry. In the grand scheme of things, you're barely born.
It doesn't make me feel any better. But I suppose we can talk on the
adventure-
boat.
This adventure that lays ahead of us, it's inspiring. It's invigorating. I feel good about this decision.
That's how you should be. You should look at this as an opportunity to experience something few other people experience, to live your life to the fullest, and really just stop asking dumb questions.
Yes, because the future for us has not happened. The past means nothing. For Thandi, it's the now. It's the power of now.
While you're doing it, Verthandi's looking through his pockets like, I could have sworn. Oh, maybe I left it in my other pants.
I'm a little. I just turn back to the three and I say, he doesn't know where anything is. I'm worried that our lives are in his hands. Are you guys worried at all?
Well, I mean, I figure having the knowledge of everything in existence would be quite a lot to juggle. So,
I would expect he'd be used to it, though.
well, right, but
Erder, have you
guess-
seen my brown pants?
See?
You put them on the line to dry this
Oh,
morning.
wow.
Oh, yeah.
Can't find
That was
his
this morning.
pants.
Okay, so we're going on a boat. Maybe it goes to Valhalla. We don't even know. This is the craziest thing, but let's just go. Let's just go. Let's just go. And I'll stand next to Agos.
That's the spirit. And he'll just kind of clap you on the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what's it going to be? Gudrid?
Gudrid, we can make some pretty killer hooch in Valhalla.
But what about our families? Will we ever see them again? Will we ever be able to make them proud of us again?
I don't think there's anything we could do to make them prouder than this. And frankly, if we don't go, what happens to them then? Whether it's our choice to have not done this or whether we get home and I don't know, a
Everything is ruined.
tree falls over and I'm having a bit of an existential crisis right now. I'm trying to tamp it down and use the wisdom of our only slightly elder to rein in the craziness that I'm feeling right now. So, put on your life vests. Let's get out of here. We
You
gotta
have
do
a
it.
way with words, Hades.
Well said. Well said.
I feel like my tongue is swollen in my mouth. This is just a lot.
If it helps, says Erder, just remember what I said earlier. Your fate's already decided. Whether you get on this boat or not today, your fate's already decided. When you're due to die, you will die, whether or not you get on this boat. So shouldn't that be freeing?
Yeah, but we still have to make the decision. We can agonize about this for years if we wanted to.
Only if you let the fear
Right.
cloud your mind. Let go of the fear. There's no fear to be had because whatever is going to happen is going to happen. Explore, range, go to the extreme limits, go beyond the limits. What's the worst that's going to happen? The same thing that was going to happen if you stayed right in your home, comfy in your bed.
You can see
get up.
Byron starting to like understand this and like really get behind this. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And like he just kind of, and then like every once in a while, like every 10th head nod, he just kind of goes, "Oh, this is really confusing," and then he just kind of keeps going with it. And he just
Hades
gets
is
up and
gonna
like
ramp you up a little bit. Like, come on, we've got this. What's more exciting than this?
He has nothing to lose, so
Yeah,
That's right.
But really, I mean, we all do but we were told this is where we were told to go.
yeah.
Right?
And here you are.
We still don't know.
See how it works?
Oh my!
We
And then you
are
can see him
serving
pause and just go, "Oh."
And on the river, you now see a boat, which is kind of like a medium-sized fishing boat, like with. It doesn't seem to have any sails or anything else. It has just kind of pulled up, and it's one of those Viking-style boats with the head of a dragon at the front, and sort of really kind of low slung and wide, and sort of sitting very comfortably in one. You can see that there's 4 spots in it.
Gudrid cracks her knuckles and says, "Let's get on this boat."
Yeah. I call the
start
middle.
walking.
They help you get in the boat and
Middle.
get comfortable. Remember now, hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times for your safety.
What? Wait.
Yeah.
What happens if one of my hands is outside of
Don't
the
ask
vehicle?
questions. Don't ask questions. This'll.
Whatever is supposed to happen will happen as the boat starts to drift
Yeah.
against the current and
This is
going back
wonderful.
up.
What?
Whew.
We'll be here when you come back, I think, unless Fenrir has come and gone and killed everything and destroyed the world in the meantime.
Wait a minute.
And as
He said, "When we come back."
the boat goes upriver and enters the cave, for a few moments it is dark, and you get a sense of a wide expanse opening up in front of you. And the darkness that is in front of you is not a darkness of there's no light. It's a darkness of there's nothing. And for a moment, Gudrid, you feel the single most intense moment of peace you've ever felt in your life, as you have completely been engulfed by the void. And it's as if you cease to exist, and your flesh doesn't exist, and your bones don't exist, and your responsibilities don't exist, and none of that exists. And you're just happily floating in nothingness, nameless, for a good long while. And then suddenly all of you hear water lapping, and you feel very cold, cold wind lashing at your skin. And as you open your eyes, you find yourselves on the deck of a vast Viking drakkar, and on the shores of this permafrosted land that looks something like this.
Gudrid is wiping the tears from her eyes, hoping nobody sees it. Which is tough.
Oh.
You awaken on the deck of the ship, an old drakkar, the wood stained with the sweat of countless warriors as well as their dreams and blood. The wind howls a frost-bitten tune, the very sharpness of its cold breath, cutting more surely than any rune-engraved sword. The water below you laps lazily at the shore, and the distant sound of branches cracking in the frost echoes like the final gasps of ghosts. You are in Kvithaven, which is where Valhalla, the Hall of Wotan, can be found, and you find yourselves accosted near this little village. And as you look into this little village, it is covered with mist, and nothing stirs, nothing moves. You don't see anyone. You do see these weird shards of glowing crystal that are embedded here and there throughout the area, and they look like they've fallen from on high, and created these craters as they crash down into the world here. And everything is very quiet. And as you leave the boat and start walking along the dock towards the village, you have weird visions as you see the village become just this vast uninhabited plain filled with trees and rocks. And then you see the village is there, but it's old and has fallen by the wayside. It's abandoned, and the houses have crumbled almost to dust and they're rot, and you just see the stones of the foundations. And then you see the village again. And as the lot of you are walking and looking at each other, you see each other as you were when you were children. You see each other as you will be when you are old. And fucking Agos just looks like a mummy. And then you see yourselves as you are again. And every step you take seems to change the world around you. And sometimes you feel like you're looking into the ancient past and sometimes into the future. And the mist just clings to everything. And these strange glowing crystals sort of embedded in the ground there pulse with light. And it's almost as if with every pulse from them, things change. The village becomes old, becomes new, becomes ancient, becomes as it is now. You become young, old. Things moving in and out of time like this. And all is deathly quiet.
Does it feel disorienting, or is it still like a relaxed sort of?
It feels disorienting, sort of like when you put on a VR headset and the image shows you that the world's going like this. You know it's not going like this, but your brain doesn't. And so you feel vertigo. So it feels sort of like that, where you fully understand that this is not what's happening, but your brain is like, this is what's going on. So there's a bit of a, conflict there between those two.
Okay, we're here. How's everybody feeling?
Figured there'd be more people here.
I feel crazy.
I feel fine, but you all look weird to me.
Agos as a young Titan was fairly dashing. I'll just say that.
You can see Byron give you like an eye up and down like you never have seen in a long time. And then suddenly go, ooh. Snaps back to your old presence.
Wow.
Well, we're here on a mission. We need to speak with Votan or Frigg, of course. Get to the bottom of this. Well, what do you say? Should we do this?
Yes.
Were we the only ones? Were we the only ones on the boat? I mean, there's nobody else on the boat now, right?
No.
Yeah.
Boat changed.
I'm gonna walk down the ramp to the dock and just start sort of making.
As you walk, you see that the little cabin there that's next to the dock, the door is kind of ajar, and there's a body lying in the doorway.
That's not good.
Is it a dead body?
Do you go check?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You approach it, and as you do, you hear
Are you sleep? Is he sleeping?
Hello?
and you can see the body's doing the same thing. You can see him as a child, as an older man, as a young man, and it keeps changing, but through it out, he's sleeping.
Hello.
Poke it with the haft of my hammer. Just
Nothing. And inside the little hut, you can see another one at a desk, also down, sleeping. Same thing happening, and you can see like the inside of the house changes. It's a mess. It's all right. It's rotten and falling apart.
This doesn't feel normal.
I'm going to cast Sense Magic and see
Wow.
if I
All right.
can
So
What I get.
Your head explodes.
yeah, give me a roll.
And then there
What
were
kind of roll would you like?
Yeah.
In order
Sprayed
to
by the gore of Aeolus.
yeah, exactly. It's going to get ugly. So let's take a look at your character sheet. So
That's beautiful.
yeah, so you will make a, I would say roll your elementalism.
Okay. So
you're going to roll a d20 and your intelligence makes your elementalism base be 12. So you need to roll under 12. You do have your cultural heroic ability there if you want to use it for 2 willpower where you can get a boon.
I probably should have, just because of the situation, but I did roll under, so I'm okay. I rolled an 8. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, like you're like, this is what you guys see. You see Eagles kind of stiffen
Just
and
eyes.
fall to the ground. And
Catch him if he's close.
yeah, you manage to grab him with your agility and you drop him and like, oh, imagine like, you know, basically you grabbed a hold of like life current, basically like everything
That
just
felt amazing.
pretty much so amazing, in fact, that I will give you back your willpower points that you spent. Oh, you didn't spend the willpower points. You didn't use it, so never mind.
He got them in one of the futures that we're seeing.
Yeah.
What did you do? And
Yeah, this
why are
place
you
is-
excited?
This place is steeped in magic, as you could imagine. These individuals here are under some sort of ensorcelment. And, well, those giant crystals are quite fascinating. And I'm going to just start walking towards one of the crystals.
And as you approach him, you can tell that the power you're feeling is coming from that. But as you're approaching him, a couple of things are happening. One, in the reflection in it, you can see in the different facets, you can see yourself reflected at different points in your life. And there's even one where you appear to have decomposed, which is kind of a little frightening. But there is definitely kind of a sense of sort of almost electrical power that's emanating from them. And the one thing you know is that there is a source. It is drawing energy from a main source of power somewhere further north. That it's drawing to it, and that the power you feel here is but a fraction of the power of where it's coming from. That these are basically pebbles and shards that have broken off of something else.
I look up. Is there a
You
crystal above us?
Not above us, but you do see far on the horizon, further to the north, and I'll bring back the other map here for a second, but you do see in the forest to the north a much bigger crystal of this kind that seems to just have all this blue arcing energy that's just swirling around it, coming from a forest a little bit northwest of here.
I don't think they're offering much help. Byron gestures at the bodies.
And if you look through the other houses and stuff, you'll find that all the houses, people are just passed out asleep and all kind of changing in time like this.
And they can't be woken.
No.
Even if we try to shake them, they won't come to. Okay. Well, this doesn't change our reason for being here.
We need to go to Votan's Hall, right? I mean,
That's where they told us to go. Yes, we should go.
Do we know
Yeah.
where that
This doesn't
is?
seem right here.
Let's see if they're more like these people.
Don't we have a map?
I mean,
Do we have a map? We were not given a map?
I think we just go, and wherever we end up, that's where we're supposed to be.
Wow.
You really got
Drink
into
your
this
lemonade.
idea.
You bought
Yeah.
into it.
Wow.
Really
All right.
spilled the lemonade. Yep.
Well, let's just keep going forward, right? That's all we
I'm
can
gonna
do.
go. Byron closes his eyes and just walks.
Oh, jeez.
You leave the village and pretty soon find yourself in a very dense forest. The trees heavy with snow, but then not. And then the trees are very young, and then the trees are very old, and then they're just little sprigs growing out of the ground, and everything is constantly shifting around you. And even I think at some point get a glimpse of what this place used to be way before and it's very kind of upsetting, and what it will be later, and it's just sort of altogether kind of upsetting. And as you walk through the forest and are trying to head and find your way towards Votan's Hall, you eventually sort of arrive at a bit of a rise, and you can see below you this giant crystal that appears to have, as I said, sort of crash landed from the sky. It is a good 100 feet or more tall. It is very, very big, and you can feel the amount of power that's emanating from it. And as you sort of arrive, and we'll say you're kind of hiding up here, you can see that it has, in its crash landing, broken through the earth and appear to have unsealed something. But what arrests your attention first is that you can see there are people working at the bottom, busy building a palisade around this place. There are a bunch of little crystals that are kind of planted here and there around it. The people that are building this palisade look like this. As they are sort of moving, shuffling,
Truggers.
building up this palisade. But on top of the palisade, they also appear to be building this huge set of stairs that right now is kind of being held in a very rickety fashion with poles, wooden poles to this thing. But there's a set of stairs that leads up to the very top of this crystal. And as you look up to the top of the crystal, you see sitting there on the throne, carved out of ice, you see this feller, somewhat bigger than all of you, and he's sitting there on this throne and sort of overlooking everything that's going on down here. And you can sense that there's a tremendous amount of power that's emanating from him, but that he somehow has control sort of over this area.
Perhaps they can give us directions.
Hold on. You does I'm not very smart, and I know that we're supposed to do exactly what we're about to do, but this does not seem like Votan's throne to me.
No,
there is
And
a
if
chair on the top, but
right, if it's not Votan's throne, it's somebody else's throne. Do you think that this person and Votan are friends?
it doesn't feel like it. Just instincts.
yeah.
Would
Would Votan have a friend with Draugrs? I don't know if I would know what Draugrs were. With those creatures?
Yeah, you would know what Draugrs are. You would have heard legends of them, which are warriors that have been caught, their spirits unable to go into the afterlife, and so their bodies remain animated, sometimes because they've done terrible things or they're cursed, and sometimes just because, for whatever reason, their spirits have not been able to move on. Would any and all of you make me, if you want, a spot hidden
Oh, I'd love to.
roll?
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, I just rolled a demon.
Ooh, you rolled a 20.
Oh,
Yeah.
I rolled a 2.
ooh.
I rolled a 3.
I rolled a 12. Didn't make it.
Okay. Well, well, you're not in melee, so we'll say nothing too bad happens when you roll your demon, but you're like, really, you don't see anything. A couple of you had rolled really low. You do see in the little crystals that are littered around the place, there appear to be people inside of them. You see shapes of people trapped inside all these little crystals that you see around the...
Do they look like the people in the houses? Like...
Hard to tell from here. You can kind of just, because they're
Okay.
very opaque, so you can just
Yeah.
kind of see, shapes sort of stuck in it.
Okay, I don't like this at all.
Do they
Perhaps
look happy?
I can't tell. They're encased in ice.
It's not ice. It's not
What
ice.
do you see?
Crystal.
Yeah.
Crystalline something or other.
And here's your bane, your demon. Sorry, Agos. As you're straining to see, and you kind of lean forward, and you lean just a little bit too far forward, and suddenly you find yourself head over heels, bouncing down along the rock until you crash land at the bottom here in a pile of wood.
Oh.
Oh shit!
And as you say that, the Draugr that's there working on the palisade turns around, sees you, and then drops what he's doing slowly, and then starts walking towards you. And this is where we will take our break.
All right, everything's fine, everybody. I think
the
that we're
Draugr
doing
Not a big
exactly what
deal.
we're supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
That's right.
This is how it's meant to be.
Thank you, everyone, hanging out with us in chat. I see Darling there. I see Aria. I see Dunder Mr. Ty, Sly Sparrow, a bunch of people. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate each and every one of you. Will take a short break, and then we'll come back and see what happens to poor Agos as this Draugr is now very curiously walking towards him. And finally, Agos, you found someone older than you are.
Perfect.
Burn. Sick burn.
Thick burn. All right, we'll see you in a couple of minutes. Thank you so much. Hang out. We'll be right back. There we are. Hey, we're back. Hanging out in Kvitravin, Valhalla, the afterlife, because, where else are you going to go when you're playing a mythical Norse game? You go where the mythics hang out. When last we saw our intrepid heroes, they had just arrived in the land of the dead, in Kvitravin, and we're heading towards Votan's longhouse when they came up on this giant crystal. It seems to have fallen from the sky and have, in fact, little bits and shards of it having gone everywhere. That seems to be having a weird effect on time here, as they're seeing different variations along timelines of themselves, as young, as old, so on and so forth. Same thing with the land. So there's definitely something sort of up with all this. And when you arrived here, they found this giant crystal and a bunch of Draugr, which are undead, which are Norse soldiers who have not been able to go on to their final rest for whatever reason. And they're busy building this sort of stairwell that goes all the way up to the top of this crystal. And right now it looks kind of rickety, as it's kind of jury-rigged with pieces of wood and whatnot. But they're also busy building a palisade around this. And it looks like from where you are now, Agos, having fallen because you couldn't see thanks to your old eyesight, having fallen down, you can see inside that cave that there appears to be some sort of crypt, perhaps, as you can see, like type of beds that they used to lay the dead upon back in the day, and there are torches blazing in there, and that's probably where the Draugr came from. But as you've fallen down, and one of the Draugrs here has noticed you and appears to be approaching you, I would like anyone who feels like it to make a myth and legends roll.
Yes, please.
This is also one of those
Yes.
rolls. If you want, David, you can spend your willpower as long as it's int. You can activate your
Gain a boon. Yeah, you know what? I will do that.
okay.
I didn't make it.
I sure as shit did not make it.
Betrayed.
Yep, I did on both dice.
All
Ew.
right. Pretty awesome. So one of the things that you remember from myth and legends, Egos, is that the Draugr are, for whatever reason, they're still here. And while some of them have displayed often very strong sense of individuality, having their own sort of, goals and so on and so forth, and some of them are just sort of automatons, they are, by their very nature, obliged to always obey the Jarl. Or the Thane, depending. But it is built into whatever dark magic animates them, that when confronted with the authority of a Jarl or a Thane, they are bound to obey.
Okay.
So you are lying there on your Tukis, seeing this Draugr advance, and the rest of you can see this. The Draugr has come and is sort of curiously sort of approaching.
Does it look threatening to me at all?
It looks like it's curious right now. It definitely has a weapon on it, and it's kind of approaching. And
come and help me up, son. We haven't met. My name is Jarl Agos. And I'll kind of reach up. Help me up now, son.
And you see him slowly reaching for what appears to be a war horn that's hanging at his hips.
Byron's sliding down this hill to get by Agos' side.
Let's do an initiative then.
Yeah.
See what happens. All right, first time trying combat system here, so whatever, bear with us. So for initiative, I will draw cards.
Cool.
You got a deck of cards?
I got a deck of cards. And refer to your Dragonbane cheat sheet as needed.
Yeah.
Okay. So we will begin. I will go in order that I see on my screen. So Gudrid will go at, that is 3. 80s will go at 7. Egos will go at 10. Very unfortunate for you. Byron will go at 4. And the Draugr will go at 6. So we keep this initiative throughout. Now I'll draw one for the Jotun in case gets involved in this. So lowest number goes first. You can do on each of your turns. You can move anywhere you want within a zone. So sort of within an area around where you are, and you can take an action or you can move far. All right. So for example, in the map that we've got right now, right, I would say that once you're inside the palisade, moving anywhere like on one side of it, this would be a zone. So you can move anywhere inside of this, that would be a zone. The other side would be another zone. Climbing all the way to the top would be another zone. And up here would be another zone. So moving down there would cost you a full movement. And that would be your action. But once you're down here, you could go sort of anywhere you want in here and then do an action. Okay? We'll see all of these sort of as we go along also. All right, so the first to go then, the closest to 1 will be 3, will be Gudrid. So Gudrid, let me know what you would like to do. You're up there, you can see this Draugr about to sort of raise a horn to its desiccated lips.
Gudrid is going to draw her longbow and fire.
All right, so go ahead. You grab your bow and you pull back. Are you going to use any heroic abilities, or are you just going to shoot?
I'm just going to shoot.
All right, so in order to shoot, you make a ranged attack. So in this case, you're going to use your bow skill, and you will roll. Now, I will say that because you are higher up, this will give you an advantage. So you'll get a boon on your attack. So you will roll 2 dice, and you're attempting to roll under your skill.
All right. I rolled exactly my skill for my lowest number.
So that's good enough to hit.
That works? Okay.
Now you will roll the damage of your weapon, and I will decide that the guy doesn't know you're there. The dogger doesn't know you're there, so he's not going to attempt to dodge. He's just going to rely on his armor to sort of save him.
11.
11, that's pretty freaking solid.
Oop.
He's wearing, okay, so I'm going to go through the steps so that everyone understands the system. He's wearing studded leather armor, which gives him a 2 armor. So he would take your 11 damage, and he would remove 2 from it, which would leave him at 9. Now, this thing happens to have 8 hit points.
Real quickly, we just got raided, and I want to give them a shout out. Thanks to the Games Tavern for the raid. We appreciate you guys. Great to see you.
Thank you so much, Games Tavern. You're just about to see a little bit of action here as the characters are attempting to take on a bunch of undead Viking warriors, the Draugr. And you, Gudrid, have just fired your arrow with incredible precision. It has arced down, and with the strength of your shot, it hits the Draugr in the head and just pierces right through it, and the head kind of dislocates a little bit from the rest of the body. And as you see him, he was raising the horn to his lips. Agos, you see him just kind of fall forward and splat down just a foot away from you, dead, with this arrow right through his head, and having not sounded the horn. So that's pretty lucky there for you. Just a note for the people having just rated us in, we are using the Dragonbane system from Free League Publishing. So we are, it's the first time we're doing a combat with it. So, we're just learning. So we're going to kind of talk our way through it as we go along. All right. So you have fired successfully and hit. Byron, you go next at 4.
How much of my sliding down the hill was done before our initiative?
I would say that it starts on your initiative, so it'd pretty much be your action to get in,
slide down.
Yeah.
And so this, I'm gonna slide
dead right now, so I'm gonna.
Oh, he's dead. I'm gonna slide down, and I'm gonna stand. Then I'm gonna stand.
You should probably put Gudrid back up on the hill and take your own.
Oh yeah.
Your own.
Yeah. What are you
token.
doing?
I'm sorry. I got that sweet bowl cut. What am I doing?
Right.
There we go. That's better.
So you see this huge Titan with his huge hammer just kind of sliding down
and
the side of that little
superhero land, like in the snow, like poofs of snow next to you, and just kind of look down and go, I think you should get up now, because I think that we're supposed to do this. And he's just gonna brandish his hammer and just hang out for now, because there's like a frail old man who's laying on the ground.
And at 6, the fracas sort of draws the attention of one of the other Draugr here, who will slowly come walking, making his way towards here, and to sort of inspect. But he's not going to get much further than that. He's not going to get too much. But as he's approaching, he definitely sees you with the hammer. And as he's approaching, you can see him, kind of draw his sword and sort of coming at you with that. So that's at 6. At 7, 80s.
Okay, so I'm going to use my action to move all the way down. Can I go down to there?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, and for my free action, I'll just yell, "Hey, come over here," and pull out my sword.
All right. Putting yourself in danger to save the old man. We like it. At 8, let's see if we'll do an awareness check for the Frost Jotun to see if he notices anything going on. He's got a 9, he does. So he gets up, and you, Gudrid, are still up on the thing, and so kind of higher up, you can see that he's gotten up from his throne, and has kind of approached in a corner and is kind of looking down to try to see what's going on down there. And then at 10, it will be Agos' turn.
I'm going to get to my feet first and foremost. Did somebody grab the horn?
No one appears to have grabbed the horn.
I'm going to grab the war horn. That seems like a nice trophy.
When you grab it, you can see it's like ancient. It's super old. There's frost and rime just sort of encrusting it and kind of covering it. And you're kind of even wondering if it would work. Like it's just so old and filled with ice.
Well, I'll grab it. Does it hurt me?
No, it's a little cold to the touch, but it's about it.
I'll put that in my pack and I'll look up. Is there anybody coming in to attack?
Yeah, there's another dogger there that's coming at you right in front of you. Earlier you said I'm your Jarl giving in. You saw that didn't have any impact on him when you said that. So obviously that's not.
That didn't seem to work. Okay. I am going to tap my good friend Bjorn on the shoulder and say, "There's one right there for you." And then I'm going to walk over towards where 80s is.
Okay, and I'm going to tell you to go ahead and give me a straight up int roll, will you?
Yeah.
So as opposed to some other games, here you want to roll low, so you want to roll below your stat or your skill. In this case, your intelligence is 13, so you want to roll beneath
I rolled an
that.
18.
No problem. Okay. And you start walking forward. You want to take an action because you can take an action. Moving is free. You can take an action if you want.
I'm going to look
consider
up
grabbing the thing being a free action.
Okay. I'm going to look up at the Frost Jotun.
Yep.
Do they look like they're irritated?
Yeah. It looks like, like intruders. Like,
all right, you know
everything kind of reverberates.
I was going to play nice, but fuck it. And I am going to cast. I'm gonna shoot a fireball at this guy.
I knew it. I'm like, he's gonna fireball. Like I knew.
You guys just watch as Agos just kind of like does this sort of motion with his hands, and this fire starts to blaze inside his two palms as he cups them together, and you hear him say, "Spapa!" And I'm going to throw the fireball at the frost giant.
All right. Seeing the fireball come at him, he is going to attempt to dodge the living bejesus out of it. Because, that's
I'm gonna power this thing up.
All right.
I'm going to go power level 3.
Ooh.
Which is my max.
So spend a willpower point for it?
A bunch of willpower points.
Yeah.
I think I have to spend 6. Yeah.
All right.
Willpower points.
And so he's going to make his evade roll.
Okay.
And he fails miserably at his evade roll. So you see him kind of see the fireball, and he throws himself to try and avoid it as this little meteor of fire sort of reaches up and strikes him. Go ahead and give me some damage.
Okay. This is great because it's powering it up with my will points makes it do more damage, which is great.
I'm sure it's going to be pretty terrible.
Melt him down.
That's 15 points of fire damage as the fireball just...
The fireball reaches up, just smacks him right in the middle of the chest and like just sort of engulfs him, and he kind of rolls off to the side, and he kind of disappears from view a little bit, but then you can see him get up, and he's like trying to put himself out as like some of his clothes have caught on fire, and he seems to be quite injured by this blow of yours. Let me make a note here of how much damage you did so that I remember.
15.
That's a lot of damage on him, but he's pretty tough, and you can see that he's it took a huge chunk out of him, but he's not quite toast yet, as one would say. And then we will be right back down to Gudrid at 3.
Well, I, as everyone else, saw that massive fireball streak through the air, so I will retarget with my bow to the Yontun.
Jotun.
Jotun.
All right. In this case, at this particular time, because he is higher than you and he's got the platform there, he's sort of partially obscure. So I will give you a bane on your roll, unless you have something that can help you out.
Well, I have Eagle Eye. I don't see it doing that for me, but well, maybe. In combat, you can also shoot at a target beyond a weapon's effective range without getting a bane. That's not really range, though, right?
Yeah, no, it's not really range. It's just the angle
Okay.
and everything else. He's kind of like partially obscured. So I will
Can
say
I-
that you roll that. But you can, you do have one, I don't know, you do have, every game you do have one inspiration, so you can spend that if you want. I don't know if the chat has given, I think I saw something go by earlier that someone had gotten an advantage from the chat, but I don't remember if I saw that or not. But you do have the one that you can spend if you want.
Could I run further up, like up here, to get a better shot at him?
Yeah, I will say that's cool, but it will put you in the next zone. So if you want to come down back on the side where your friends are, it's going to take you 2 actions to do it.
That's okay. I think I can see a lot of the battlefield from up here.
Okay, so I'll give you that. So you run up there, and you find you have a much better angle on him, so you do not have a bane anymore.
Okay. All right. Come on, Bo. Big money. Ooh, yeah. That's a 7, which totally works.
Totally awesome. He is not going to attempt to evade because he wants to do an action later, so he's going to keep his action to do something. So go ahead and give me some damage.
1
damage.
which he absorbed.
This arrow, you run up there and you take your time and you aim and you fire this arrow, and as you fire it, something just goes wonky and the arrow kind of wobbles, maybe bad fletching or something, and it just kind of wobbles and it like barely kind of nicks him as it hits him. And after the fireball he just took in the teeth, he doesn't really notice your little wobbly
Yeah, okay.
arrow.
I looked down at my people to make sure nobody saw that.
No, they seem to be pretty occupied with not dying. So
Makes sense.
Byron, you're up next. You're at 4.
Is this Draugr in front of me? Well, we're killing Draugr. Yeah, I'm gonna run as a part of my movement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take a big ol' like polo swing with my hammer at this Draugr.
Go for it.
And that is an 11, which does make it.
Awesome. So he's Draugr, so he's not going to attempt to dodge or parry. He's just kind of going to take it. So go ahead and roll me some damage.
That is some brutal damage.
Oh, nice.
That's 23 damage.
Oh.
I rolled a 9, a 10, and a 4.
So explain to us how this pitiful Draugr with his studded leather, which prevents 2 damage, and who has
what's
8.
the height difference between like Titan and Draugr?
Oh, well, it's like he's like a human, so you get a couple of feet on him.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna walk past and I'm gonna just sort of swing and aim for his head and try to launch it towards the Frost Titan.
All right. Well, he's not going to make it because the body's kind of going to disintegrate before he gets there as your hammer swing just pulverizes. Like, I think if this guy has, like, children, they're probably dead also. And if they have children, they're also probably dead. Like, your thing just annihilated the entire lineage of this poor dude. As your hammer just... And when you swung your hammer up, you kind of caught him mid-chest, and it just crushed everything on the way up and exited the top of his skull. And the rest of the body kind of flies up a little bit. And it hits the side of the this monolith, and with fear you realize as it hits it that it becomes whole again, and it looks young and it looks human and alive for a moment, but then it turns back to what it was and falls to the ground. Dead. Yeah.
And as the rest of, I'm doing this as I am moving. Like, this is a moving, running, casual hammer swing, and I'm gonna rush past.
Yeah, you can go like all the way to the other end if you want. You can move anywhere you want within that zone.
I'm gonna go past 80s and Egos because I don't see any other Draugr nearby, and I'm just gonna kind of park it like here.
All right, so there are 2 Draugrs now that are kind of like looking at you and licking their chops. And that would be a 7. We would go, no, sorry, 6. It'll be the Draugr actually at 6. So they see you, so they're all like Arg. And you got 2 of them coming at you, and meanwhile, a couple of them are going to cross into this zone. Use their action to cross into this zone. 2 of them are coming at you, so they're going to take swings with their ancient, notched, and rusted swords that are still quite effective. So let's see if they manage to hit you. So the first one, short sword. Skill, he rolls a 7, so he hits. Now, you've already taken your action, so you can't evade or dodge since you don't have an action left. So the first one hits. The second one rolls a 20, so rolls a demon. Something horrible is going to happen to him. So we'll do the first one. He hits you with a sword, doing a d10 of damage. Does he have any bonus to his damage? Does not look like. So he's going to give you 4 points of damage. What's your armor?
My armor is 4. So
all right, so your armor absorbs all of it as his sword kind of bounces off of you very ineffectually. This one who rolled the demon on the way in gets caught up in this pile of stakes and that they were using to build a palisade. He kind of gets caught up in it, and then part of it kind of rolls down, and you hear a sickening crunch as all these logs of wood kind of roll on him and kind of trap him, and then you can see that he's caught underneath a bunch of them, and he's kind of within sword reach of you, so he might be able to hit you again, but definitely like his lower body has been crushed by all these pieces of wood that have sort of rolled in down on top of him. Poor guy, you know, all he ever did was be raised by an evil sorcerer, you know. 80s at 7.
Okay, so I'm going to move closer, right about here. Mm-hmm. And both those Draugr, they're still alive? The 2 that are...
Yeah, one is kind of stuck under the... and the other one...
Cool. I am going to... run over and right as I begin to stop, I'm going to let out this like crying note that would it's not the best note to hit, but it's very intentional. And I'm going to use my heroic ability as a musician. It says activating the ability can allow you a bane to all enemies within 10 meters. So that should hit the 2 that are there. And then, so it'll last until
your turn next
my
round.
Turn next round. Yeah.
All right. What's the range on it again? Sorry.
10 meters. Did I get close enough with both?
10 meters.
I can scoot over.
So I will say that. Go ahead and check it out. What's 25 feet in meters? That's about 3 feet a meter. So I need to be a little closer.
Okay. Am I able to
go up to where Byron is?
Okay.
And I'll give you all 4 of them.
Oh hell yeah. Okay.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
So... You sing this discordant note. And these Draugr, who are no doubt fans of heavy metal and have heard some discordant notes in their time, nonetheless react to your voice. And your friends there, you're like, what the hell? I thought she was a bard. What's going on with this thing? But she gives like a good, Johan Heg from Eminem, and then it's very impressive. And that would. Into it. Course. And that's at 7. At 8, the Frost Jotun is very unimpressed with y'all and decides that he's going to come into it because, except it's going to take him his entire action to get down. So don't. Now he's starting to regret the number of steps that he had these guys build. As he comes up here, and he's just going to jump the rest of the way down. Boom. Sort of land there, and as he lands with his huge hammer, he hits the ground with it, and he roars out. He clears his throat with a thunderous rumble, and all adventurers within 6 meters which actually you're probably fairly safe. So we'll say it doesn't reach you. All right, you're good. So this noise roars out, sort of like, in response to your own discordant note. He yells his, which is much more thunderous in volume, but still doesn't manage to reach you because he's not close enough. And that was at 8, and now at 10, Agos.
All right. Agos is going to walk slowly and carefully across the ice.
I do want to say this is not ice. This is the ground. But when this thing fell from the sky, there was an empty space beneath it because there was a crypt. So it kind of just crushed down. Yeah, buckled down the ground a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Well, nevertheless, he needs to watch his footing. He's an old man, and
of course.
he makes his way over, and he is going to take a look at this frost Jotun and say, "Oi! We're just looking." Oh no, that's not the voice. We're just looking for the Votan's hall. Can you direct us to the Votan's hall? It must be somewhere over Shopva. And I'm gonna cast another fireball at him.
Yeah.
And I'm charging it up. I'm charging it all the way up again because I don't like this guy.
Wow, nice. Thank you so much, the Ardent, for the follow. We super appreciate it. Ardently following us. I like it.
Very cool.
I think it was my Ammon Amarth on Hague impersonation that did it personally, but
Hey, there we go. Thanks for the follows, everybody. Appreciate you.
Oh,
thank you so
nice.
much. You're also awesome. We love you.
So I am powering this up
Amber
to,
Anna, thank you very much.
Power level 3.
All right, so he doesn't have an action, so he can't dodge again. So go ahead and roast him for all he's worth.
Okay, here we go. Ooh, that's good. Oh, that's really good. That's 19 points of damage this time.
Ooh, nice.
Oh,
Jeez.
smoke this boy.
Oh, you guys, I was so excited about my damage. You guys are killing it.
The thing hits him again and engulfs him, and he screams in pain as you can see part of his body actually melting from the fire as he's a frost Jotun. Unfortunately, it doesn't kill him, but he definitely looks like he's on his last leg, so to speak. He's totally crispy, charred, melting away. I'm melting, and he doesn't have much more to give.
After the fireball is released and Agos sees sort of the result, he kind of stumbles back, like all of his energy having gone into these two massive blasts. He stumbles, he hits that wall that's right behind him, and he kind of like sits down on the ground, and he kind of looks over at his friends, and then he pulls out his pipe. He's got this beautiful ornate carved pipe, and he just starts he lights it up with his magic trick, and he starts puffing it.
And as you do that, you're taking you kind of see yourself back the first time you ever lit a pipe when you were with your dad, and he gave you your first pipe, and a lot of you see him as a young man for the first time puffing on this pipe, and then you see yourself much later, like in the future, as an old man, and your pipe is kind of shrunken and sort of started falling apart a little bit, and you're holding it together and you're trying to light it, but your hands are too feeble to fire it up anymore. And then you come back to the way you are now. And again, everything kind of shifting, the timer on you, constantly shifting.
If you'll allow it, GM, I think as he exhales that first breath of smoke, as he exhales that smoke out, he is going to first pull out this band of yew that has a crystal embedded on it, and he's going to blow that smoke onto that crystal, and which will allow him to regain some will points.
As you do, you feel that power, that ancient power of the lost Thane infusing back into you, and you feel some of his willpower and determination fill you back up again.
Badass.
That's right. Pump it up. Pump it up. You
That's
pump it.
the third crystal of the lost Thane's crown.
Nice.
All right, that's my turn.
All right, pretty awesome. Back to 3 then, and Gudrid up on the icy shelf up there. It's going to be hard to shoot anything else. Like the crystal's kind of in the way now. You're kind of screwed a little bit from there, sort of seeing anything. So you're going to have to start making your way down.
All right, so my first turn, is gonna get me down to like about there. Was that like the?
Yeah, no. So what's going to happen, because it's going to take you 2 turns. So the first turn will be to kind of make your way back down to sort of where you started, and then but from there you could shoot next round if you wanted. Your eagle eye would allow you to shoot all the way down there, but if you want to move down, you'll have to spend another action getting into that zone.
Okay, got it.
Cool. At 4, Byron, there are 80s is next to you, having sung this discordant note. There's still the one Draugr that's kind of half stuck under these bits of palisade that have fallen down, and the other one's in front of you. Not looking menacing, but not being terribly menacing, but he's still there. And there are 2 others that are looking like they're going to barrel down on you and perhaps try to bite you on the tuchus.
I think Byron is not so much worried about this. There's a Draugr, so I've got 80s behind me.
You got 80s
like for all
music.
of us.
You got 80s music,
And
literally.
Hell yeah. And I've got a Draugr in front of me, and then I see this Frost Titan over there, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna literally hand my hammer to the Draugr and just say, hold this, and then punch my knuckles together and run over to the Frost Titan. Frost Jotun.
The Draugr accepts your hammer, looking a little bit bemused as he does so. And that was such an awesome little moment. I'll give you a boon on your attack on the Frost Jotun as you move up to
you all see these like kind of burnt red gauntlets kind of like clashing together, and Byron's just gonna 1-2 this Frost Jotun in the face hole.
Go for it.
Amazing.
Yeah, he has an action now, but he's very intent on hurting you. So
that was great. I rolled a 4 and a 15, so we'll take the 4.
Nice
on that. And that is what, 3d6? I get strength on the bloody mitts, right? I get the strength bonus on the cool.
Yeah.
10 points of damage.
Nice.
What are these things called? Bloody mitts?
Ranulph's bloody mitts.
I love giving
My God.
funny names to my magical items. As you walk into this guy's face and just like start wailing into him, you can see he's really surprised that you have the gall to do this, and like he kind of reacts very poorly. He doesn't even try to defend himself as you punch him in the teeth, and he looks like after you're done, like he's about to keel over and sort of pass out. And it's really only his sort of natural armor that has saved his bacon here a little bit.
I'm also going to try to hold on to him at that point with just hold him there. If he's not looking good, if he looks like he's like not happy, I'm just going to like hold him.
Nice. At 6 then, these guys are going to come in at you, Adis, and sort of encircle you. This guy's holding the hammer, and he doesn't really know what to do with it, so he's just going to bring it back to Byron. But the other two are going to take swings at you with their swords, and the one that's on the ground too, because you're close to him and he can reach you. So he's going to try to ankle stab you, because
Sure.
The first one rolls a 7, so that's a hit. Second one rolls a demon, so he's going to scream. I'm going to say it's the same guy that rolled the demon. And the other one rolls a 6, so that's going to be 2 hits. You have your action still, so do you want to try to parry one of these?
Yes, I would love to parry one of them.
All right, so you're going to roll your weapon skill, whatever it is.
Okay.
Roll your weapon skill. You want to roll under, and then you want to roll a bigger difference than he got.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I am rolling. Ooh, nope. It didn't do it.
All right.
I'll just take it.
Yeah, no problem. You will take 4 points of damage minus your armor.
Cool.
The other attack will just hit since you can't parry anymore. That'll be 5 points of damage, minus your armor.
Cool.
And the one on the ground, as he kind of pushes himself up a little bit to reach further and stab you, destabilizes the wood that's already on top of him, and the rest of the pile comes rolling down and rolls all over him and finally crushes him until there's only his hand with his sword sticking out from under this pile of wood, and it's just kind of shaking, and then it stops moving as he's been palisaded to death. At 7 would be 80, but since you parried, you don't have an action. You can, however, move if you want.
Okay.
If you move out of combat, they're going to take swings at you.
Yeah. No, I'm going to stay there. And for my reaction, I'm just going to shout again. Just not saying anything. I'm just shouting now.
Awesome. And I'm so glad that the Frost Jotun at 8 gets to go, as he will not attempt, because monster attacks, as we know, cannot be dodged.
That's right.
Ooh.
Parried.
Oh, that's
in this
right.
And so he will proceed to do a mangling smash on
Ooh.
Byron.
Ooh.
Ow.
Is it an auto hit for these guys, Bleak?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
basically
Oh,
what
God.
happens.
Cool.
And so it says he grabs the nearest player character and uses the victim as a weapon by slamming them into another character. So as
Not ready for this one.
as the Draugrs come in to bring you back your hammer, the Frost Jotun grabs you. You're holding on to him, and he just really kind of easily breaks your hold, and then reaches down and grabs you and just lifts you and slams you right into this Draugr that's running forward with your hammer and his sword, and he just rams you right into this poor Draugr, killing him, but giving you the mangling smash. And so here we go. He will do this damage. And that will be, as soon as I find another dice.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, so there will be 13 points of
Supposed to
damage.
happen.
There'll be 13 points of damage.
What the fuck?
As he minus your armor.
Jeez.
Oh, good. I forgot about that. I was like, I have 1 hit point left. Okay.
Yeah, so he grabs and just slams you into this Draugr, and your hammer hits you in the back of the head, and this Draugr just kind of falls and totally kills him, but like you get slammed and then dropped right on the floor at his feet. And then he roars at you. And you can see from up close that some of his wounds are starting to close up a little bit. And that was at 8. And at 10, Agos, you just saw one of the wildest things you've ever seen, as this giant Titanite was just picked up by this Frost Jotun and used as a weapon against this Frost Jotun's own Draugr. And it was pretty vicious. Like, you almost had to close your eyes. Like, it was pretty rough watching that.
That sounds pretty rough. Taking a quick look at the structural integrity of these, I'm gonna get my little marker out. These posts and this wall here that's above this Frost Jotun.
Yep.
What does it look like? Does it look pretty
like that? They basically
sketchy?
they've built these extremely beautiful, intricate ice stairs, and they're being held up by these tiny little wooden poles right now. When the Frost Jotun came down, those things bowed and looked like they were about to break.
Yeah.
The whole thing
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
like it's holding on by, like, a prayer to Odin.
Your voice right now is like music to my ears. I'm gonna cast Shatter on all of that ice above this guy, and I'm gonna drop it right on him.
Pretty awesome. All right, so just spend your willpower points. You cast your spell. yelling out the words of power, and the ice on top
Canusa!
just shatters and explodes, and these huge chunks of ice just rain down on top of this Jotun. And as you shatter that sort of first set of stairs that goes up, and it blasts apart and falls, and then the next one kind of crumbles and starts to fall, and then the next one, and then you're like watching all of this kind of almost in slow motion as every single part of this, as the wood snaps, falls apart, breaks, the rest of the ice just kind of comes crumbling down, and this huge wave of ice blocks cascades down on top of this frost Jotun. And Byron, it's all you can do to just kind of roll away to avoid all of this, and in a moment he is completely buried under this huge mound of ice. And as he does that, all the Draugr drop to their knees and then fall face down into the snow and stop moving.
I think they could use a bit of consulting on the structural integrity of the edifice here, but nevertheless.
Ouch! You see Byron.
You realize, Byron, that you have the Draugr's helmet embedded in your back.
He's like using the hammer that he's pulled from the pile to like stand up, and then like yank the helmet out of his back and drop it. It's still got a head in it. Just drop it on the ground.
Brutal.
Well, that was oh, that was fun. Can we do it again?
No.
Perhaps we could smoke on it.
It was meant to happen.
You can see. Well, hold on. You can see Byron reach and just think for a second. Go, oh shit, and like search his person for his pipe, his like long, delicate stemmed pipe, which is, I think at this point probably not survived. And so he pulls out like 2 pieces of it.
Oh.
Well, let's find out. Are you lucky or are you not lucky? Give me a 50-50 chance that it's still okay.
All right, odds or evens are a success.
Odds.
I rolled a 15, so it is intact.
Nice.
You pull it out, and some other stuff you have in that pocket is completely shattered and destroyed. But that thing, miraculously, as you pull it out.
It's about a foot and a half long.
And as
it's
you do,
excessive.
You light up and sort of survey the damage around you, you see the Frost Jotun's hand is kind of sticking out of the ice, and he's got this huge 2-handed hammer made of bone and stone, and it's got like frost veins running through it, and it's just kind of glinting there.
As he's still leaning on his own hammer, he's just going to let it go and then just go over and immediately try to pull that hammer out of the fucking rubble.
No problem. You managed to pull it without much of an issue, and you are now the proud owner of Frostbone. It's a heavy warhammer that, in addition to the regular warhammer stats, also can do an extra d4 frost damage when you spend willpower. So
nice.
When you swing it and you spend willpower, you'll see this huge wave of ice that just erupts from it and just sort of freezes and hits things along the way. You pick it up, it's kind of cold to the touch, but not uncomfortably so.
I literally just look at everybody else and go, cool.
Very cool.
Are you injured? You have to be injured.
Yeah.
I saw that from back over there. That was pretty cool.
Doesn't feel great. But it feels pretty great.
It was amazing.
I'm sorry, I also wanted to say, you do remember the Frost Jotun was wearing what appeared to be a crown around his head when he came down. Crown that looked made of silver or other materials of interest.
We should grab that crown, and Bjorn, we do have tinctures that could help heal you.
Byron, you can call me Byron. That is
That's what I said.
I suppose I could dig him out for you. You want his crown. Crowns. He just starts like swinging this new hammer to like smash some of the rubble out of the way.
You manage to do very quick work of it, and eventually you find the head of the Frost Jotun, and he does have this beautiful crown around his head that. It looks when you look at it, it looks like it's made of the same material than the monolith is. Like it was like a piece of crystal that came off of the monolith or something that was like kind of in a crown shape that he put on his head.
Are we still flashing through time?
Yep.
Oh boy. Well, we should probably look around a little bit. There's something happening back there.
Do these shards have people in them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Can I touch one?
Sure.
Does anything happen?
It's kind of cool and glassy to the touch, but it's not ice. It looks made of the same material that. Yeah, sure. So you haul back and hit it with all your might, and as you do, it cracks and it shatters, and you see falling dead from it a Frost Jotun that crumples to the ground and appears to have been basically just sucked dry of whatever life and energy it had.
Oh, well, I'll start smashing them all if I see that.
Not a problem. So you can go through the entire place, breaking them all, and all the bodies drop to the ground. They're all like the Frost Jotun that were the followers of this guy, and they all sort of drop to the ground as you shatter all these crystals.
As they go around and smash things, I'll go up to Agos and just... your magic was very impressive. I don't think we would have made it without you.
I'm here to serve a purpose, just like the rest of us.
Yeah, it was still impressive, though. Thank you for, saving our skin out there.
Of course, and thank you for protecting me.
Yeah.
You can, if you want, Agos, make a elementalism roll to see if you can get a read off of this thing and sort of what's going on with it.
Yeah,
you can, if you want, spend some willpower if you have any to use your heroic ability.
Yes, actually, I do have a little bit left because of that sweet little magic item that I have, the crystal. So yeah, I'll go ahead and use my knowledge of Epoch. Just made it with an 11.
All right, so it's pretty clear to you that whatever this thing is, it's malfunctioning right now. The sparks and the sort of electrical currents that are kind of shooting off of it seem very haphazard and sort of shooting all over, and you just get this sense that this thing is not functioning the way it's supposed to be functioning. It likely got damaged when it crashed from wherever it crashed, and it definitely looks like it's not working. But you get further than that, you get a sense that there is something inside of it, something trapped inside of it, some sort of power or whatnot, but it's definitely some sort of sentient type of being that is caught in there. The closest thing you kind of feel is it would be some sort of elemental, but obviously not ice or fire or earth or air, the type of elementals that you would know. But the power that resides inside this giant monolith appears to be of an elemental type, and that's why your elementalism is very useful here, because even though you've never encountered this elemental type, you recognize it as such.
Looking at the crystals themselves, can we see something in them? I mean, like they had seen these Jotun in the other crystals.
In the big one?
Yeah, in the big one.
So when you approach the big one and you look in, you start seeing in all the different facets and all the different little sides of it, various scenes from your life, from your past to your present to your future, just sort of all playing and kind of jumbled up through there, as if time just sort of goes back and forth throughout this entire thing.
There is something locked within this monolith. I believe it to be the source of whatever's happening to us, this time transference.
Should we break it?
I do not know if
You
it's
don't think that'd be a
possible.
good idea. You don't know a lot, but you know that whatever's trapped in there, if you just break this, it's just going to unleash it. And if it's ill or something's wrong with it right now, like because it's malfunctioning, it's probably not a good idea.
Perhaps there's a way to put it at ease.
How do you suggest we do that?
The crown that's in your hand sort of feels like it's tied to it somehow through the energies.
There's a throne up there.
No, the throne is no longer up there. All of that has crashed.
Oh,
All the ice has crashed down. The throne is somewhere
that
over
whole
there.
thing. Oh my goodness.
The throne is somewhere
Bigger than I thought it was.
So this
The
map
throne
is
is
no
somewhere
longer
on.
accurate.
Yeah, we fucked that place up.
Ego, who is I did not pick up. I did not touch the crown. I just unearthed the crown. So
I'll investigate the crown, and if there seems to be a connection.
There definitely seems, it's as if this was a piece of it that kind of came off.
Gudrid will circle the whole thing, see if there's something we didn't see on the other side.
No, there's nothing else that's kind of different, but when you get towards the back, you do see that there is some sort of crypt there with a bunch of funeral beds, and there looks to be inside a sort of dais with another funeral bed on top, and there seems to be things on top of that funeral bed while the others appear to be empty, and a couple are even broken.
Kind of things, like offerings? I'll go up a little closer.
When you go up a little closer, you can probably make out what appears to be the outline of a body, and then a couple of things. There is at the foot of it this giant skull of some sort of old animal with these long sort of ram-like horns that has been painted and decorated. And if you want, you can make me a beast lore check.
Okay.
Meanwhile, what's going on at the front of the house?
I'm going to investigate this crown, and not fully understanding it, I'm going to place it on my head.
Okay. We'll come back to that.
Oh no.
Gudrid.
That's always an encouraging thing.
Yeah.
Leader DM goes, okay, let's wait for that one.
Let's shelve
What are
that.
you doing?
What'd you get, Gudrid?
I rolled an 8, so I made it.
All right. You see that, and you can tell that it is the skull of a Karakos, which is a giant snow-dwelling monster that doesn't exist anymore in Kettleheim, where you are. Men who were irredeemably violent were said to be possessed by the spirits of a Karakos, and they would keep a decorated Karakos skull as a talisman to ward off that spirit. It was, in olden times, one of the greatest trophy a hunter could bring back was the skull of a Karakos.
Respect. Respect.
Do you go in?
No, I turn around and I look at my people and I
Why
say,
are you boring?
I don't want to die.
Byron's like following you.
Oh, is he?
Like,
Okay, well, if somebody's
we were
with
smashing
me,
all the crystals, like, and you go to peek at this thing, like, I don't care about
Sure.
the crown and that shit. Like,
All right.
someone's
done.
with me, then I'll go.
Okay. Meanwhile, back at the front of house, you put the crown on? Okay.
I stayed in his general vicinity.
As soon as you put the crown on, you feel your consciousness sort of melding with this monolith that's next to you. You immediately understand, Egos, that this monolith is some sort of device that comes from another world, but you can't really fathom where or how. It just feels like it has fallen from the stars almost. You feel that there's a powerful spirit caught inside of it, that it's powering it, but that, as you had figured, the spirit is very ill. It is an elemental of time that is in here. The monolith itself amplifies the spirit's power, and its power is to control time. It's currently malfunctioning because of the crash, and time is out of whack. It's either greatly bouncing back and forth everywhere, or it's frozen, but nowhere is time the way it's supposed to be. You also get a sense that any other realm that is connected to this one would feel the effects of it and would possibly be frozen in time. The power of it would extend that far, and so time perhaps would not march on as it normally would in any other realms that are sort of connected to this one. You also get a strong sense that there are a number of other monoliths, not all of time, but of several other types of monoliths that are spread out through various worlds. And you get the distinct feeling that the world where you come from, Eld, has several of them spread out in it. As I said, the monolith is obviously malfunctioning with sparks and lightning, but I need you right now, as you have worn the crown for one round, I need you to pick one of the conditions.
Right.
Which one do you pick?
Where are those again?
They're on your character sheet.
All right. I would say I will take disheartened.
Okay, so you take disheartened, so you can put a little check mark next to it. As you see all this, you also start seeing flashes of your life. You see moments from the past, moments from the present, and all of these things now start to jumble your mind. And some of them are not the way you remembered them. Some of them are different. And it's really starting to kind of weigh on your mind. It's really starting to kind of discombobulate you a little bit. But you also get the sense that if you're wearing this crown, you can control the monolith and you can control the thing that's inside now. What you can do with that, who knows, but you definitely feel that this crown affords you that ability. So you can try things if you want. And 80s, as you watch him, he is sort of staring up at the monolith and his eyes have kind of rolled back a little bit and you can see some of the energy playing around on the crown.
I'll just walk up behind him and just put my hand on his shoulder.
And you feel that in a past life, perhaps, or in a future life of somewhere else, 80s puts a hand on your shoulder.
I would think that 80s probably sees like just a tear slowly like rolling down his cheek as he's having this sort of like epiphany moment.
And as that's going on, inside the cavern, you find, my friends, this scene. Inside the cavern, you find an old tomb. A couple of the beds, obviously this is where the Draugr came from. A couple of the beds are shattered. And you can see the remnants of Draugrs in there. As you enter, you see runes sort of written around the entrance. And if you would like to give me a language roll, if either of you has that. I mean, you can...
Sure don't.
No, but you can still roll it. You just have a really low...
Is that an intelligence-based check by any chance?
It is, and you have the base chance from intelligence. So who knows? Maybe you'll roll really low. You still have an advantage if you want to use it.
20.
Wow.
Nope, don't know languages. None of them.
16, so sure. Good, dude. This is very pretty.
So you
very
with
artistic.
with your 20, you read the runes and you understand them very clearly. These runes say that this is the tomb of someone called Halfdan the Blessed, and that he was one of the greatest hunters that ever lived, and that he part of his dying wish was that one day his hunter spirit would live on in the body of one worthy, and invites basically whoever feels they are worthy enough to enter his tomb and claim his belongings.
His belongings or his spirit?
Perhaps his spirit is locked in his belongings.
Byron, we can take his stuff. I mean, was an amazing hunter. I start rifling like I'm just like rabid.
I mean, if you see anything that would make me look cooler than this, as I like bristle the fur around my shoulders, I'm here for it. But I have gotten 2 new hammers on this adventure. One before getting on the boat, and one after, and I'm pleased as a pickle myself. So whatever you need from this hunter's stuff, I'm here for it.
So you approach the dais?
Yeah.
So as you approach this dais,
as if in a trance,
you see the body of some being there on the dais. You see a gold coin on his chest. You see the strange beast skull, the Karakos skull there at his feet. There is a human skull placed next to his head. There is a silver chalice with an engraved skull in it near his right hand. And at his left hand is an incredibly beautiful old greatsword engraved in runes all through the blade, that just smells of power.
I mean, I go up and I want to like tactilely experience all of these things first. So I put my hand on them without taking them, and just kind of like
everything
stroke the sword.
Touch feels redolent of meaning, important, and gravity. Like, not gravity like the gravity, but it's just like,
it's heavy, man.
Yeah, it's heavy, man.
Can I get the chalice out?
Sure.
As a distiller, that might be my first thing.
You can. Do you have myths and legends?
No.
Okay.
I do.
You do? Roll it.
I don't know why I do. No, I rolled a 20. I rolled a demon. Yes,
you rolled a demon.
Great. Oh, we're doing so well in this.
So
we are the best Tomb Raiders ever.
You
Mildred, we got this.
You remember an old story that only the greatest and most benevolent of thanes and jarls were allowed to be buried with what's called a chieftain's goblet, which is a silver goblet that is engraved with a skull, because the tradition of saying skull, of drinking, from the skull of your enemies and saying skull and smashing that. And this is so that a warrior who has saved so many lives and been such a great leader of men, so that when they go into Valhalla, they can drink from the finest silver skull, the mead that will be given to heroes in the hall. Obviously, this guy was like a numero uno badass of like awesomeness.
This is a very, very important dead person, Gudrid. I don't know how many dead people you have met, They might all be dead now because time is, not even real. But this body is, it was a noble warrior who had to have saved many lives to have earned this chalice that you hold.
Nothing happened when I picked it up, though?
No. Very nice. Probably, worth a pretty penny.
I usually wield hammers, but that is a very nice looking sword.
It is very nice.
Gudrid puts it back down in the exact same place,
Mm-hmm.
and then turns back to Byron. Maybe we should not defile this grave.
Didn't you picked it up though already?
Well, I put it back though. I put it back exactly the way it was. Yes.
Doesn't it still count if you like touch it?
Well, it's back the way it was. If we walked away, no one would ever know this. I mean, it looks exactly the same as.
Right, but would this great warrior not know that you touched his chalice?
I didn't take it. I put it back. I don't feel right about this now.
Well, no. I'm here for taking the chalice, though. That's what I'm saying.
What if we take the chalice? What if we just only the chalice?
That sword, Gudrid, look at that sword.
But you are so effective already.
I mean,
do you need another weapon?
I don't, but I'm always looking for an upgrade.
Hmm.
I mean, if this guy was the warrior, that sword is probably some.
Well, can I just, Gudrid? Okay, Gudrid, I want to pick up the sword. Just like you picked up the chalice, I just want to pick up the sword. Are you cool if I do that?
I'm
and
cool
I will
with
put
that,
it back right the way I found it. Okay, and Byron's going to walk over and, eke the sword out of the hand, heft it for a moment.
As you pick up the sword, you automatically know the power in this weapon is greater than any you've ever felt. This thing has slain uncounted numbers. And as your hand wraps around it, you feel anger coursing through you. You become incredibly angry. You take the angry condition. And you just know that no matter how many people you kill, you will never be able to assuage this anger that you feel at everything and everyone. But this sword will help you try. Meanwhile, back at the front of house,
Oh my god.
as you feel the hand of Hades on your shoulder and your tear runs down your cheek, you hear a distant voice emanating from deep within this monolith. Egos, a voice that says, "Save me." And on that note, friends, we will end
God.
Oh,
episode 2 of Shadesong Winter Thrice. Right here, right now.
Oh, yeah.
that took a turn.
Tune in next week. Tune in next week to find out what happens with the sword and with everything in that room, and with this elemental of time stuck in that piece of wreckage of star.
Wow. All right.
No big
Everyone
deal.
okay? Everyone good?
Sure.
Yeah, that combat was
Yeah.
great. I forgot that the monsters auto hit. That I forgot.
Yeah,
about
I
that.
also did.
Pretty
I
good.
also did. And then I
So
remembered
the monsters auto hit with their special powers. They don't auto hit if they're wielding a weapon or something. They just auto hit if they was their special powers. But they can always do their special powers. So it's pretty nasty. It's pretty nasty.
Oof.
Excellent.
Yeah, I would have been killed in one hit.
Yeah, that blow was pretty.
Yeah.
pretty hardcore. But you guys did great. Good job with the combat. You smoked all those guys. And yeah, so just because the whole thing with the Jarls thing and these things, if you'd have showed them one of the coins from the Jarl that the Jarl gave you, the emblem. Remember the Jarl gave you 3 coins?
Tokens.
Sure.
Yeah.
That would have been smart of us.
Yeah. That's why I had you roll the intelligence when you feel. I'm like, okay, that's fine. We'll just go with it. But yeah, like that emblem would have bought you the they would have backed off. They wouldn't have helped you, but they wouldn't have attacked you.
Shoot. Good
But
to
you
know.
did well anyways.
Forgot
They didn't
about
hurt
this.
us hardly at all. It wasn't them that was the problem. It was
But-
Mr.
And it led to some interesting moments anyways with the hammer and with Bjorn getting smoked and all. So that, you know, it was worth it at the end.
What
You
was
guys
that
did
move called? The Mega
job.
Mauler?
it's
Mega
something-
Mauler.
No,
Yes.
it's called something pretty horrible. Hold on.
The mauling smash.
one guy with another guy.
Mangling smash.
Mangling
That's
smash.
Oh.
bad.
So yeah, he's got rending attack, repulsive bite, troll throw, sweeping blow.
Real sexy
Woo.
attacks.
Yeah. Oh my
But thank you
God.
so much. You were all absolutely wonderful, amazing role playing. You guys are fantastic, each and every one of you. Let's please, we got some new people in the chat. Let's please go around, introduce yourself, tell us who you are, and where people can find you. You deserve to be found. You're all so amazing. We'll start with the Scoos, who right now is angry, which, you know, all that Lou Ferrigno talk and that Hulk talk at the beginning of the game was kind of prophetic.
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Scoos. You can call me Scoozy, Scoos, whatever you want. And I can be found at Scoos News on Twitter or just hanging around in our Discord at Guild Superior Adventures Guild. I play Byron, who is
Angry.
he's a hammer collector apparently, and also now currently angry. And I'm so happy. I'm so grateful that we both rolled demons in that tomb investigation, because I think it deserved a little bit of like no holds barred, like, yeah, I'm gonna touch it.
And it's great because that inscription at the beginning is this huge warning, and you totally like fudged it
Yeah.
with the demon, right? I'm like, all right, there we go.
Oh boy.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kuz. That was great. I super appreciate it. We'll go to Beth. Beth, how you doing?
I'm good. I am concerned, but I'm very good.
You should be concerned.
Yeah, no, this has been awesome. I'm very, very excited to see what happens next. Truly. I think Byron is really in for something something great. Yeah. My goodness.
Where can people find you?
Oh yeah. Well, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Beth Masco. You can find me here next week and possibly other times. Yeah, thanks again, Bleak, for another another wild one.
No problem. That's what we deliver here at Guild Superior. We deliver wild ones.
Truly.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. Great
Yeah.
role playing as always. A lot of fun. And Shelly, how you doing, Shelly? Talk to us.
Good. Worried for Gudrid and her welfare in the tomb. But Byron is pretty hurt, so maybe it won't go so badly for her. I'm not sure. Yeah, nervous for next week.
You should be able to take him out pretty quick.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey,
With the mangling smash.
That's
Took
right.
him way down. Yeah.
Where can people
I'm
find you, Shelly?
excited. You can find me at on Twitter at Real Flea Monkey, and you can see there's a link there because I draw some stuff, and I don't know. Yeah, go there if you're interested.
Awesome. And Phoenixy Wacky just rated us as we were literally 2 minutes away from
Ooh.
rating Phoenix. It's like the competition trying to rate each other all the time. Thank you so much. We're fortunately just finishing off here, but we will be rating, I'm guessing, Darling Creepshow here in a minute. So hang out with us if you want. That'd be great. So we can give Darling some love. We all love our little Darling here. Dave, let's talk to us, Dave. What's up? What's going on?
Hello. Thank you so much, Bleak, for another great game. Awesome players. I'm so happy to play with Scoos and Shelly and Beth. This is super fun. I'm digging Dragonbane. I'm liking the system. It's fun, it's fluid, and it can be pretty brutal. as it turns out. So my name's Dave. You can find me on Twitter, D_M Dave. You can find me on our Discord server where I hang out pretty much all the time. Connect with us, join us, playing games with us, encouraging folks to just connect with the guild and get involved. I am having a blast playing Agos, and I can't wait to see what happens with this crown and this strange connection with this time elemental. It's going to be weird.
Oh yeah.
Awesome sauce. Thank you so much for putting a crown on your head. Look, we got tons of good stuff going on here at Guild Superior. We have Basin going on Sunday that I'm GMing with another brochette of awesome players. On Monday, we got a brand new Monday Night Mayhem starting with what's called Tome of Beast Unleashed. On Tuesday, we got some more Super Duper Greyhawk. As you can see us Keystone copping our way through the Moat House, the classic Moat House dungeon in Hamlet. And next Wednesday, we have Dungeon Mr. Ty bringing his new Varden last game of the 8-part thing. Last game until we invite him again and he shows up again and does terrible things to our players. But yeah, it's been super exciting to watch that, and I'm looking forward to seeing that finale next week. Huge thanks to all the raiders. Huge thanks to all the people hanging on chat. Thanks to Andy, our producer. I am the Bleakseason. You can find me at the Bleakseason on Twitters. That is it for us tonight. Join us Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or at least join us next week as we continue our trek here through Valhalla. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to raid Darling Creepshow, hang out, give her some Guild Superior love, and we'll see you all in the funny papers, as they say. Thanks for hanging out. Ciao, gang.